Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Latimer Park for this Evo Stick League South Central Premier game. Kettering Town, the Poppies, against Tamworth, the Lambs. And you'll be able to see and hear this game live on Poppies TV. Well, the see, but you'll see on our highlights a little later in the week. With me this afternoon is Ed Palmer. Good afternoon, Ed.
Good afternoon. I think I've just about recovered from.
Yes, I was going to say, how's the voice?
It's just come back. Yeah, it's just come back.
Millions of hits we've had on the commentary,
we've had a lot, and I think Paul White has got over. I think it's 1.3 million hits now. He's had
for his McGregor,
for his Conor McGregor walk as well,
and very good it was too, wasn't it? Indeed, we'll be talking more about that game in a little while. But today it's at Tamworth. We do have a guest from Tamworth. It's Kev Clark. We'll be introducing him to you in a little while. Get his thoughts on the Lambs. But on New Year's Day, we witnessed a pulsating game, didn't we, against our rivals down the road, AFC Diamonds. And it was the first league meeting between the two sides, and it didn't go quite as expected, did it? No,
I mean, I don't think we were expecting a boring match, but I don't think we were also expecting a goal in the last 30 seconds of the game. I think the majority of Burton Latimer was woken up when Reece Honus knocked the ball in from about 4 yards. I'm going to say it. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to say it. I'm pretty sure he was at least a yard offside as well.
I won't have that.
Well, no, but I won't have that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, why not?
As the footage shows there.
Shall we watch it again?
Let's watch it again and again and again. And
yeah.
It's him, number 6 there. Plays punter, plays him on side.
I don't know. I think he's
still the brilliant photography also from Peter Short
shows he's offside.
Shows that he's miles onside. It doesn't matter. The referee and linesman said it was onside, and it was a climax I haven't seen for a long time, and it was a great finish to a great game. 2,147 was that in that game. 591 from down the road.
Yeah, not a bad following from them. Shame they went home unhappy, but never mind.
You almost meant that.
What's that?
You almost meant that.
I almost meant it. Yeah. No, I mean, in all fairness, they probably did do enough to get a point in the grand scheme of things. But that's what football's about. They got 2 late goals the game before to nick a point.
That is true.
We got a late goal on Tuesday to get all 3. But I'm not complaining. I mean, it's a win. It's a 3 points, and in the grand scheme of things, Stourbridge drew, so we've closed the gap on them as well. So
with games in hand as well. So
it wasn't actually a bad afternoon's work for Kettering.
If you haven't seen the highlights of the game, you can do on the Poppies TV website. Thousands have, so if you haven't, you're a bit behind the times, but it is available on the Poppies TV website, so pop along and see that. Highlights from today's game against Tamworth will be on there later in the week, plus our post-match interviews, and also probably our pre-match interview with Kev, who's sitting in the corner there waiting to come on with pleasure or glee. I'm not quite sure. He's grinning there anyway. But let me give you the Kettering Town team first of all. It says Paul White in goal, 5 Gary Storer, 6 Michael Richins. His suspension doesn't take place until I think it's Tuesday is when it starts, and so you've got 7 is Lyndon Meikle, 8 Aaron O'Connor, 9 Dan Holman, 11 Reece Honus, 12 Dion Kelly Evans, 14 Marcus Kelly, 15 Declan Towers, and 19 Craig Stanley. Your subs this afternoon: Ben Tosland at 3, Brett Solkin, the Kettering Angel, at 4, 10 Ben Milnes, and 16 Luke Graham. And finally, Adam Cunnington drops down to let Aaron O'Connor in. He's number 20. We'll go through the Tamworth side nearer to kick-off. The referee is Stuart Richardson, assisted by Anthony Wingate and Scott Masson. And if I remember correctly, you can tell, sort of pick me up on this, is the referee we had at Stamford.
Yes, in the cup match. I think
was it? I think it was.
So, no, sorry, the cup match is coming up in the league match at their place.
So there we have it. So that is the Kettering Town team. So it's going to be an interesting afternoon to see if Kettering can sort of keep their form going. Remember when we beat Stourbridge 4-2, Kettering's form dipped after the high of that game. Now we've got Diamonds off the high of that game. We're playing Tamworth, who are struggling. To be fair, they've had a topsy-turvy season, which we'll get more from Kev on in a few moments. But the form guide goes like this, really. It's Tamworth that have got the better over Kettering in the number of years that we've played them.
Yeah, I think Kettering have only beaten Tamworth at home once, I think. Is that correct?
It is. 2007-2008. It was a 2-1 win at Rockingham Road. Goals scored by Westcar and Bridges. But since then, Tamworth certainly have got the sign on Kettering. The time that everyone likes to remember, of course. I'm sure Kev will be putting a dagger in my heart at this point. But when we actually won promotion on the last day of the season at Tiverton in that climatic end of the Dr. Martins season. But we've got quite a few associations with Tamworth, which we'll talk about in a few moments. It's going to be interesting to see what the pitch plays like today as well.
Yeah, it was heavy against Diamonds, and I don't think there'll have been enough time for it to really recover. I've had a quick look at it. It looks...
Get the key going.
Boggy. Yeah, it's not boggy, but it's going to cut up a lot more, and the warm-ups won't help. And I mean, Graham does a fantastic job, but he's not a miracle worker, and he'll have done what he can with the pitch. But I would say sort of half an hour, 45 minutes, you're going to really see the pitch get very heavy, and football's probably not going to be the best game to be played on it at the moment. Probably rugby.
Well, hopefully there won't be too much of that. Well, without further ado, let's bring on Kevin, because I know he's got to do his own show for Tamworth. It's Kevin Clark from Tamworth Media, who we met at the Lamb early in the season, that 0-0 draw. Welcome to Poppy's TV, Kev.
Good afternoon, Paul.
How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Well, not you yet, but yes, it's nice to have some opposition points of view over here, and difficult season so far for Tamworth.
Yeah, it's really not panned out the way that we obviously hoped as Tamworth supporters. I think quite a number felt that we would come down and we were
pre-favourites, weren't you?
We would rock the league, and we would be in a position that the Kettering Town are in, of course, but it's not panned out that way, and a change of management as well, and a number of players in and out, and it really has been topsy-turvy. Yeah.
You've got former Kettering player Armand Verman in your side, and you've just signed striker from Stratford, Michael Taylor.
Yeah.
How are they fitting in?
Well, Verma's very much one of the few players left over from last season, and he has undoubted quality, and on his day he's too good really for this level. But I think as the problem has been with a number of the players is that consistency, and having the right players in and around Verma is absolutely key. But he's got a lot of quality as Armand, and you mentioned Mikey Taylor as well, and first couple of games I think he struggled a little bit just to adapt to his new teammates and maybe the way the team were playing. But
also the pitch, I suppose, as well. It's a 3G pitch, Tamworth, isn't it, compared to Mudfield at Arden Garages. Sorry, Tom Bailey, but it is. So it must be difficult also to adapt to that.
I think that must play a part in it, definitely. But we've seen the last couple of games with Mikey that what he's all about really, and I think he'll give you a game this afternoon because he runs the channels so well. He's very much an outball for Tamworth when we're penned in at times. You know, he's the one to hit, and if the ball forward's accurate enough, he really will give defences a torrid time. And he's got goals in him as well. Of course, he's got 2 in the last 2, which we're delighted about. Looking
at your form so far, you've not really been turned over by anybody. It's always been the odd goal in it. 3-3 draw with Barwell was the last result. How did that go?
Thanks for asking about that one.
I thought I would.
Very frustrating afternoon at home, where we were 3 times in the lead and pegged back, and it just really sums up. I think Dennis, the manager, would say the same, certainly since he's come in, that game really epitomised our season. You know, it's everything good about Tamworth and the way that we can play and the way that we can score goals, but so sloppy at the back as well at the same time. And the frustration is at the moment that our back four just seem incapable of keeping out teams, and it is the same back four, Paul, that actually had a 6 clean sheet run.
I was going to say your last win was against Halesowen, local derby-ish, I suppose, for you. The battle of the Staffordshire clubs, is it? Is Halesowen in Staffordshire?
Yeah.
Can't quite remember, but certainly some of the games here you've looking at here, you're 0-0 against us, where you said to me on the day that was probably the best that you played at that time, and it was a frustrating game for us. We felt that in the last minute we should have scored the winner, but didn't. But there we go. That is football, but it hasn't really gone too well for you. But let's hope today doesn't go that well for you. But we both want to win, obviously, for our sides. But it's a Marcus Law side. He's got a connection obviously with Tamworth, having managed them, and Mark Cooper again managed both sides. So there is quite a communication, quite a connection between the sides.
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the management and the players over the years, although we've not really played each other that often.
No,
I think
13
it's only
times.
13 times or something over the years.
You do have the advantage over us in those times. That is for sure.
I think really, you can look at stats all you like. I think today will be a game. Personally, I feel where if Tamworth can keep Kettering out, and the longer the game goes on, the more chance Tamworth have got a game, a chance of nicking the game, because we can score goals. We've got some very skillful players, but that on their day are capable. Chris Lake is a game changer, but it's just a case of keeping them out at the other end, really, and keeping Kettering out.
Well, we shall see how that develops later on in the game. It's getting time for you, I think, to pop off to your own recording. All the best for the game, except we want you to go home pointless, of course, and I'm sure you want to go away with the 3 points. So best team to win today.
Yeah.
Okay, Kev, thanks for coming over. Great to see you again. Have a good afternoon. Hope
us.
it's okay over there for you. And if we're in the bar after, we'll have a pint, whatever.
I must say, go on record as saying, Paul, we've been very well looked after. Thank you very much for helping us out this afternoon and making us all very comfortable as you can, as you admitted, in the surroundings. So let's hope it's a competitive game and a fair game, and the best team win.
Okay, Kev, thanks for that, and we'll be joining our commentators in 20 minutes. But it's Ed Palmer who's going to return just as Kev nips out, put his jacket on, and it's quite cold out there, isn't it? And it is going to be a bit of a shocker, I think, for us up there on the gantry, as it always is. But
it's cold in August, so
it is cold
what it's going to be in January, I'm not too sure.
But there we are. There we've heard Kev's thoughts on the game. It is going to be an interesting game, that is for sure. There are some good games to look at also. Stourbridge are away at Bedworth. That should be a foregone conclusion, but stranger things have happened. Biggleswade playing St Ives Town. Hitchin are at home to AFC Rouge and Diamonds. Let's see if their bubbles burst. Kings Lynn Town against Leiston. That should be an interesting game as well. And Stratford against Alvechurch. Some good games in the top 5 side there.
Well, you're saying that Stourbridge and Bedworth should be a foregone conclusion. Let's just remember how much Kettering struggled at Bedworth.
True.
They've been poor this season, but if they go out with the game plan they had against Kettering, which is sit back and frustrate, they might nick something from Stourbridge, football's a weird old game anyway. Anyone can beat anyone, but I certainly wouldn't write Bedworth off quite yet. I mean, it could be the opposite, and Stourbridge could absolutely hammer them 5-0. But if they play anything like they did against Kettering, then you never know.
Talking of hammerings, and I didn't want to bring this up too much, but Tottenham beat Tranmere 7-0 last night. So that's 7 goals clawed back from our FA Cup total. We're only 10 ahead now of Tottenham Hotspur, which is disappointing. Tranmere didn't do us any favours whatsoever, did they?
No, thanks to that.
Thanks for that, yes.
I know Tranmere fans. They will be getting an earful when I go back into work on Monday, I think.
Well, on Tuesday night we play Stratford Town in the City Security Challenge Cup 4th round. And then we're away at Colville next Saturday the 12th. And we've got a clutch of home games. Tuesday the 15th against Biggleswade, 19th against Royston. And on Tuesday the 22nd it's a return against Colville before the match of January, let's say, against Stourbridge on the 26th. A difficult January for Marcus Law.
It's a horrible January, actually, with Colville twice and then 3 of the current top 5 as well in there. It's not the easiest of starts to 2019, but we started it off well on Tuesday, so let's hope we can get in. And I think we're getting some late team news as well, actually.
All right, we've just seen now that Aaron O'Connor will not be starting. He's out ill, and Adam Cunnington is replacing him. So that is news just come in, breaking news there. Aaron O'Connor out, and Adam Cunnington replacing him. So that means that Kettering are 1 player short on the subs bench.
It also means that it's completely unchanged from Tuesday.
Yep, same side as Tuesday. So to see what happens there. But of course, Aaron O'Connor came on, and that's when it all happened. When Aaron O'Connor came on to change Kettering's fortunes. But we'll speak to Marcus Law about that after the game, more than likely. Is that a big shock for you? A big change?
It is. I think Marcus would have liked Aaron to start, considering the impact he had. You never know. I don't buy the people who said that Cunnington played poorly, because he didn't. I don't buy that at all. I think Adam Cunnington played very well against Diamonds, but he got found out quickly, and Kettering, the players around him, weren't using it. I mean, he was winning nearly every header, but no one was falling on the drop downs. But if Kettering start falling on the drop downs, actually he could be a big asset for Kettering. And let's not forget that although it may be a blow for Kettering, Tamworth are going to have to change their game style now, because Aaron O'Connor and Adam Cunnington, are two vastly different players. So they would have been setting up to maybe their back four, their back line, to deal with the pace and work rate of Aaron O'Connor. Now suddenly their back line's going to have to deal with a lot of high balls and drop downs and Cunnington winning headers.
Also, Cunnington used to play for Tamworth and he scored 21 goals in 48 appearances for the Lambs, so they know all about Aaron Cunnington. They know what he can do. Let's hope that he can get one against his old club.
Let's hope he doesn't try an overhead kick again, though.
Yes, that was rather spectacular, wasn't it? And,
it was interesting.
It was either going to be goal of the afternoon or evening or complete tomfoolery. And
it looked like someone had pushed Peter Crouch off a roof. It was incredible.
It was incredible indeed, but we shall see how this pans out a little later. As we say, we've got Stratford Town coming up in the Cup. Gives us a chance to see the informed Tom Bailey side. They are in 5th position in the league, come from nowhere really. Only lost 4 games this season, one of those to us 3-1 earlier. They got 36 points, long way behind Kettering of course, but they could also be a threat. And there's a clutch of teams underneath Stratford on 35 and 34 points that can actually try and get into this playoffs. The playoffs are looking quite interesting at the moment, though it looks like that Stourbridge and Kettering are leading the way. We have 3 games over Stourbridge. We need to match what they do today.
At least match. If we can better it, obviously that would be perfect. But it's certainly, you've got the leaders, and then you've got the chasing pack that will all be very close. I mean, like you say, you've got a lot of teams on sort of 35, 34 points, and Kings Lynn, who are top of that chasing pack, are only on 38 themselves. So there could still be a lot of chopping and changing in the playoffs. You would expect it is now probably the 2-horse race between Kettering and Stourbridge. Stranger things have happened, but you would expect it's probably going to be one, either us or Stourbridge. Let's hope it's us.
I mentioned to Marcus on Tuesday night, after the euphoria of beating our rivals Rusden Diamonds and now playing Tamworth, not the same crowd out there. There's look like 2,000 out there today, can't really see a lot of empty gaps. I think if we get over 800 it'll be really good. But how is Marcus going to focus the team from playing in a high tempo exhilarating match against Rusden Diamonds to a more lackadaisical sort of average game against Tamworth? Nothing against Tamworth, that is just the way it is.
Well, no, and Tamworth are on a poor run of form at the moment, and they will probably come out. They would probably be happy with a point against Kettering. Tamworth, I wouldn't say they wouldn't be. So, Kettering have come up against 2 sides that have gone out to win in Kings Lynn and Diamonds in the last 2 games. Neither of those were happy with points, really. So it's going to be a frustrating afternoon. We joked actually before the game about Craig Stanley and the fact that his first 2 games for Kettering have been 4 figures against Kings Lynn and then 4 figures against Diamonds. So it'll be interesting to see how he deals with mucking in what is going to be a niggly game. Like I say, the pitch isn't going to be great anyway, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a spectacle today. It's going to be Kettering really just having to break Tamworth down, and we've got the majority of the players who can do that. We've only lost 3 games all season and only drawn 3. Is it?
It's just 3, yeah.
So Kettering are used to breaking down teams that need to be broken down. So I'm not too worried about it, but I think the first 10 minutes will be key as to how Kettering come out. If they come out as they have done in the last couple of games, then it should be fine. But if they're too worried about Tamworth, if they're too worried about it coming back to that sort of back to normality, I guess, then they might be in a little bit of trouble.
It does make you wonder though how the fatigue is going to sort of kick in. The game against Kings Lynn was a difficult match for both teams. It was a hard game against Rusden Diamonds on Tuesday. He doesn't think how that's going to kick in. It's a heavy pitch, as Marcus said the other day. We had a heavy pitch, we went on a synthetic pitch to a wide pitch, and then we played on another boggy pitch. And we're playing on a boggy pitch today. How that's going to sap the strength of some of the players?
Yeah, it will do. It will do. Marcus has got to make sure that they're fresh. The best case scenario for him is that we absolutely come out the traps, get a couple of goals in the first half, and then second half he can look at resting some players. He can probably bring on your Toslands and your Milnes and Grahams to allow some of your key players to sit out for half an hour. I think the cup game's one that we didn't need, but I'm sure Marcus will be looking to use some fringe players in that one to allow his big players to get some rest, because So the 5 games after that are massive for Kettering.
Yeah, it should be a different team for Stratford. We will be there to cover that for you, but I'm not quite sure what team obviously that is going to be picked, but you wouldn't think it's this starting lineup for a start. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But as I say, if you haven't seen the goal, then we're going to watch it again just to keep our spirits high, because we like to watch this goal now and again. Here it is. You can't see it at the moment, but you can on our website. It's just going in now. Marvellous. Just keeps the old ticker going. That's nice. If you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do so. It doesn't cost anything. We need 1,000 of you to do that, so we can make a bit of money for the club, and we are at a fantastic amount of 962, just 38 away. So,
well, considering we were 3rd in the subscriber charts
on 470,
yeah, a few months ago, and now we're suddenly way out in front. It's massive. Also, follow us on Twitter, because we want a blue tick.
Yeah, we need a blue tick
verification on Twitter. So please
follow us on Twitter. A lot of you do listen to us or throughout the week, or on match days on Twitter. It would be good if you could, as I say, follow us if you're not a regular, just to get that extra wantage, that little tick that goes in our box to make it all better for Kettering Town, really.
Exactly.
And also keep looking at Poppy's TV website with all the goals, all the archive footage that we're putting on there, and you'll see today's game. We're still watching the goal against Diamonds on screen. It's a pity you can't see it, but
I'm sure they can.
I'm sure you can if you're lucky. Oh, that is good. You can see that going in. There's Total in there celebrating with his arms up. It's always nice to put one over your rivals, especially in the last minute. So there we are. That is the game. We've got Tamworth here today. I'll just go to the Tamworth team for you for the first time. In goal is Luke Simpson. 2 is Christian Green. 3 is Jordan Goff. 4 is Fortune Masopa. 5 is Joel Kettle. 6 Charlie Jemson. 7 Tarek Waite. 8 Aaron Verma. 9 Greg Smith. 10 Michael Taylor. And 11 is Chris Late. The subs for the Lambs: 12 Charlie Shaw. 13 Aidan James. 14 Jack Concannon. 15 Julian Bapofo, and 16 Kyle Maiden. So that is your Tamworth lineup. We do have 2 fans that support Kettering Town that come from Tamworth home and away, don't we?
We do, and it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, their allegiances will lie with us, but
yes, it's
going back to enemy territory after the game, I'm sure will be interesting.
Yes, it's if they're here, which I know they are, that is great for them. And getting nearer to kick-off time, we're about 7 or 8 minutes away from that. We'll be going upstairs to our commentators, which will consist of myself and Ed at some point, and Gary Foreman this afternoon. And if you are wondering on our highlights why there is so much commentary, you've got to remember that we are providing you with radio commentary over TV footage. If we were doing it live before the FA blocked us, then you wouldn't get as much radio commentary. So if you do think there's a lot of commentary, that is a reason why, as the listeners can't see what we're actually describing. So we have to be a little bit more in depth than we do when we're on the TV. So there we are. We've had 1 or 2 comments on social media regarding we're talking too much. Well, you either want to see it or do you want to hear it when it is live? So there we go. One player that isn't in Kettering's squad is Nathaniel Roturner. That is not a shock, but not even on the subs bench now. I know he wasn't going to be on there because Cunnington's had to go in for Aaron O'Connor, but is he going to fight and get his place back, you think?
Well, I don't know the reason why he's not in the team. I mean, he had a couple of poor performances, which seems to have coincided with him now no longer being sort of in the team or around the team. I don't know. Maybe it's one to ask the coaching staff after the game, possibly, because I say we're a little bit unsure as to what Nathaniel is doing. I don't know whether he's actually been here past couple of games though, so I haven't seen him. Usually he'll, as when players like Benz, Toseland aren't in the actual team, they'll still come along and warm up with the team and stuff. I've not actually seen him about. So
we've seen Brighton warming up, haven't we? And
yeah, so it may just be that Roturner's unavailable and is just can't get to the games at the moment.
As I say, James Brighton we do see warming up, so hopefully he'll be with us in the new year. Well, we are in the new year, but later on in January, should I say. He's been out for a good year, hasn't he? So it'll be interesting to see how he comes back. It can either be the making or the breaking of a player with a long-term injury and then coming back to this level of football. So G, keep talking, please. Okay, we will do. It's nice to hear the people actually listening to us. But yeah, we'll keep raining over there in Harwich. It's quite nice here. It's a good job, really, because too much rain, I think, on Latimer Parkhead, and this game might have struggled.
Yeah, it really would. And thankfully, we've had a little bit of good weather and sort of windy weather and what have you to dry pitch out in case there was any moisture. The one thing I think that we were mainly concerned about, especially yesterday morning, was frost, because it was -6 when I left to go to work yesterday morning. So that could have been a very interesting scenario if no longer any waterlogging, but actually frozen pitches, which we've not had any of just yet.
Well, we haven't. We've also just been told that Aaron O'Connor is now on the subs bench, so he might come on. It might be a touch of illness, not feeling quite good. Man flu, obviously that's disastrous if it's man flu, as we all know. Well, we're about 5 minutes away. We're going to go upstairs to the gantry where Ed, myself and Gary Foreman will be bringing you commentary from this afternoon's game. It's Kettering Town, the Poppies, against the Lambs of Tamworth, and you'll be able to hear it live here on Poppies TV. Yeah, the gantry from the warmth of the studio, and it is quite cool up here. Mind you, it is in July, so no change there. Ed Palmer will be joining me along with Gary Foreman, I think, later on commentary. There's a fair crowd in here now, though. Nowhere near as many as there was on Tuesday. The players are in the tunnel. I'll just go through the Kettering Town team for you one more time. Goal number 1 is Paul White. 5 is Gary Storer. 6, Michael Richards. 7, Lyndon Meikle. 9, Dan Holman. 11, Rhys Honus. 12, Dion Kelly-Evans. 14, Marcus Kelly. 15, Declan Towers. 19, Craig Stanley. And 20, Adam Cunnington. Subs today for Kettering: 3, Ben Toseland. 4, Brett Solkin. 10, Ben Milnes. And 16, Luke Graham. O'Connor is now a substitute at number 8. Tamworth read like this: 1, Luke Simpson. 2 is Kristen Green. 3, Jordan Goff. 4, Fortune Mapasa. 5, Joe Kettle. 6, Charlie Jemson. 7, Tarek Waite. 8, Armin Verma. 9, Greg Smith. 10, Michael Taylor. 11, Chris Late. And the subs for the Lambs are 12, Charlie Shaw. 13, Aidan James. 14, Jack O'Cannon. 15, Junior Mapofo, and 16, Kyle Maiden. The referee today is Stuart Richardson, and he's assisted by Anthony Wingate and Scott Mason. Joining me is Gary Foreman. Recovered from Tuesday, Gary?
Yes, just about, but in a good way, obviously. Feeling very chipper after that game for some reason. I can't think why. But today is a different game, a different day, and Kettering obviously need to be on guard that it's not a case of after the Lord Mayor's show this afternoon.
Well, we had that, didn't we, after the Stourbridge win. Kettering had a dip in form. Let's hope that doesn't happen today. Teams are on the pitch. Kettering playing obviously in their black and red stripes. Tamworth in a sky blue all colour. Goalkeeper in all grey. The similar sort of colours actually as the Rusden Diamond team was in the goalkeeper. Paul White in all green. He's not doing his Conor McGregor yet. We might get that a little later, but He certainly got a few hits on social media with that one, didn't he? And quite a good laugh, wasn't it?
He certainly did. But Paul's enjoyed himself. Nothing wrong with that. And I say it's a case of I think I put us on social media myself actually, which is very rare. But if the boot was on the other foot, if Ben Heath had been doing that after a Diamonds late winner, how would we have reacted?
Well, yeah, it's just the I suppose. As it happened, wasn't it? It's spur of the moment stuff, and in a game like that, everything can be forgiven. Well, we're not six deep. Ed Palmer still cheering. We're not six deep today either side, but there's a healthy crowd in. Let's hope there's 1,000. Probably doesn't really meet that, I don't think, at the moment. But my sort of guess attempts at the crowd haven't been particularly good over the last few years. Ever since we left at Rockingham Road, where I could get spot on, but not here. Marcus Law just edging his way round, taking a few bits of advice from the fans. He hasn't got a banana with him this time, though. He normally gives his fruit to one of the poor little kids that are lying around.
Victorian urchins that are on the streets these days. Give a little bit of fruit for Christmas. But no, I don't think there is 1,000 in. I mean, I was on the table as usual for a good hour before the game, before it kicks off, and I'd probably put it at closer to 800 today, but we'll have to wait, obviously, for the official attendance to come through later on this afternoon.
Well, there are some Tamworth fans in the tin hat end making a bit of noise at the moment. Looks like 30 or 40 over there, so they have travelled, and the Kettering fans just waking up. Oh yes, a bit of Peaky Blinders down there. The manager's got a cap on, hasn't he? So. Flat caps. I've just been told by Ed Palmer, who will be joining us on commentary a little later. Marcus Law now coming into the dugout. It's going to be a Tamworth kick-off. They're kicking from right to left towards the tin hat where their fans are. Richard Lavery just getting the troops alert. Let's see how we bounce back from that win. And we are off. It's Tamworth with possession. The ball goes straight out of play from the kick-off, and the first throw-in goes to Kettering. It's going to be Kelly Evans with it. Lights are on here at Latimer Park. Grey afternoon, quite cool. It's the coldest it's been for quite a while as Kelly Evans gets the ball to Cunnington, who heads it on. It's been headed out, though, by Maposa. Big towering number 4, wearing gloves, as a few players are. Not too many. In fact, only 2 players are wearing gloves. And foul on Cunnington there by Goff, but ignored by the referee. Stanley has got the ball and he clears it, and it's been hooked towards the dugout and comes off Rhys Honus for a throw-in right in front of the Kettering dugout. Jordan Goff with it, taking his time, pinching a few yards, goes back a bit now to where it should be taken from. Now goes back, ball in play. Towers gets the ball towards Meikle. Meikle puts us in front a bit too far, but it finds Jemson. Towers hooks the ball towards Holman on the far side. Holman heads down, but nobody is there, and it is Smith clearing up. He can only find Storer on the far side. Storer finds Kelly on the halfway line, drags it back to Storer. Storer looks up, trying to find Holman, beaten to it by Smith, and it is Michael Taylor, the recent signing from Stratford. He's put his head in his hands there at the ball, but the ball is back with Paul White. He's trying to find Honus. Honus, little flick. But Tamworth hooked the ball out of play. That's a throw into Kettering right in front of their dugout. Taken quickly by... Oh no, he's changed his mind. It is Kelly Evans. Still with the ball in hand. Trying to find Cunnington. Cunnington flicks on to Honus. Honus hooks the ball over towards Holman. Holman chests it down, puts a square ball over for Kelly. Intercepted though, and away by Tamworth. But a good tackle from Storer, retaining the ball off Waite. Finds Kelly on the byline by the burger van. Back to Storer. Storer trying to find Rhys Honus, who switched wings at the moment. He's got Kelly with him. Still Honus though. Cleared by Tamworth. And it is... a long ball trying to get to Taylor, intercepted though by Meikle. Meikle gets the ball back, beats 1, beats 2. He's still in his own half, goes down, loses the ball, retains it. Good work from Meikle. Finds Storer. Storer down the line, pumps the ball forward to Holman. Holman back to Kelly. Kelly back to Holman. Good work here from Kettering. Good possession. Holman coming inside the penalty area. Still Holman coming through. He's got nobody with him. Might try a shot. Does shoot. Oh, that's a good shot from Holman. Just goes over. Very good work from Dan Holman. That should have been number one.
Great play from Dan Holman there, dribbling his way. He must have beat 2 or 3 men in there, cutting inside on his right foot. Got the shot away inside the penalty area. But unfortunately, just a bit too much elevation on it. But a bright opening for Dan Holman. And a bright opening for Kettering Town against the Lambs, who are lining up at 5 at the back really today. 4 in midfield, 1 up front. But we'll have to wait and see whether they try and get a little bit more ambitious once they're in retention of the ball. But quite a defensive outlook in terms of the start of this game.
Well, goalkeeper Simpson just hoofs that ball right out. It come right on the halfway line. But, as I say, Kettering's record against Tamworth not particularly good. Marcus Lawn said to me on Tuesday needs to address that. Only 1 win at home in all the meetings we've had with the Lambs. It's Meikle, the centre of the park, loses the ball though. Ball here with Goff. Comes off at Cunnington and goes out for a Tamworth throw-in. We'll try and bring you some scores as we get them of the other games. You're listening to Poppy's TV Audio with myself, Paul Cook, and Gary Foreman. Goff then, beaten to it by Kelly Evans, flicked onto Richards, who starts his suspension on Tuesday. Holman can't win that one. Towers is underneath it. He wins the ball. It's head tennis at the moment. Ball's got through to Taylor. Cut out by Storer to Holman. Holman does well. He turns. He's got a bit of pace on here. Feeds the ball through to Honus now. Honus being chased by Smith. Honus into the penalty area. Comes the ball through. Flicks it through. And that just goes agonisingly wide as Cunnington couldn't get the final touch. Any touch on that from Cunnington. And that was a goal at the near post. And we actually get a corner from that. It must have come off. Yep, he must have come off a Tamworth player. I didn't see that. It looked like it was a shot from Honus dribbling in. And Cunnington at the back post sliding in. But it is a corner to Kettering. Kelly then with the corner on our right hand side. Floats one in. There's Cunnington underneath it. But it's cleared out by Tamworth. Back to Kelly. Kelly on the edge of the penalty area. Takes a touch to it. He's got Honus with him. Honus does a little dummy there. Beats one. Beats two. Left footed. Puts one in there. Back post. Nobody there. Kettering with Richards on the penalty area on the other side of the park. Floats one in towards Cunnington. And Honus get in the way of each other. Sorry, Cunnington and Holman get in the way of each other. The ball ricochets to Simpson. Danger averted.
Good early pressure again from Kettering. Agonisingly wide for the shot from Rhys Honus on his left foot. Beat the goalkeeper this afternoon, Luke Simpson, but the ball just wide of the post. And from the resulting corner, as you say, Dan Holman and Adam Cunnington in each other's way. But Kettering looking bright.
Storer on the far side flicks the ball through to Kelly. Kelly just outside the penalty area flicks the ball through to Holman. Holman might try a shot. Does. Fires a low one. A shot. Hits the post. Comes back out to Cunnington. Goalkeeper well beaten. Cunnington has to play the ball to Storer. He doesn't. He finds Kelly. Kelly though loses the ball and away come Tamworth. So Kettering very close again with the ball beating. Simpson hitting the post, but Tamworth flying away with Chris late. But good tackle there from Kelly Evans provides a Tamworth throw.
Bright start again from Kettering this afternoon, and Dan Holman there, outside the box on his right foot, finds the base of the post. So another case of nearly but not quite for Kettering. But if they continue at this rate, you'd expect the breakthrough to come shortly.
Referee telling Kelly Evans to get on with it. Let's go was the cry from the ref. He's trying to find Cunnington. He does find Cunnington, but it's cleared. Only to Kelly Evans again, though. Feeds the ball, trying to get the ball towards Rhys Honus, but the rather rotund number 9, Greg Smith, he's had a few pies, that boy, heads it out. And offside with Kettering. Referee ignores it. Kelly Evans gets through to Cunnington. Cunnington to Rhys Honus, can't control it. Hits Greg Smith's rotund face and is put out by Meikle, rather unluckily there. Throw-in to be taken by Tamworth, midway in Kettering in their own half. Kelly Evans wins that, trying to get to Meikle. Headed on though to Taylor. Chris Tate puts the ball through
Good work there from Towers, beating 2 players, feeds the ball through to Holman. Holman comes inside, he's got a chance to shoot here, he's not going to do. He's got Cunnington one side, he's got Meikle on the other. He uses Meikle on the right-hand side. Meikle puts one in. There's Holman's flicker, there's Cunnington. And good save there from Simpson at his near post. He's going to the top corner, but a bit too easy for Simpson just to catch that one. But another good move from the Poppies. 0-0 here at Latimer Park. Ball hoofed out by Simpson and goes straight to Paul White as Michael Taylor, the recent signing from Tamworth, was bearing down on him. But it is Craig Stanley, who's played so well in the 2 games so far, gets the ball to Cunnington. Cunnington under pressure, gets the ball back to Kelly, but he's beaten to it. And a nasty tackle there on Richens. He goes down and he looks in pain, and he is still down. That was a tackle. And another tackle here by Kelly Evans, another Kettering player down. The number 4 Formosa over there had a disgusting tackle on Richens. Nothing being given. Richens has just got up, and Kelly Evans also receiving some treatment. And referee needs to cut this out pretty quickly. It was from Jordan Goff, who goes over to see how Kelly Evans is. But 2 very poor tackles, Gary.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the referee didn't blow up on the first one. Matt Moser was going in very robustly on Michael Richens, not quite as in the same league as Michael Richens' tackle on New Year's Day, it has to be said, but certainly a foul for the second one that the referee did spot. But I think it's just going to be a talking to the number 11 Chris Late for Tamworth. No card out. And Kettering will just have to contend themselves with a free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, it's going to be taken either by Stanley or Towers. So Tamworth lucky not to get a player in the book, but they haven't. And it is Stanley taking this free kick. He pumps it in towards Cunnington. Cunnington knocked and nothing given there. Referee said, but he went down. Ball goes out of play. Goal kick.
Yeah, coming together with, as you say, the rotund, putting it politely.
I thought Isaac Christie was big, but this is equally as big.
Yeah, it's sort of Greg Smith. He's playing with the number 9 shirt on his back, but he's the
probably the one that fits.
He's the middle centre half this afternoon for Tamworth, and Adam Cunnington there just bouncing off him in the penalty box.
Well, there's a lot to bounce off, but it's going to be goal kick by Simpson in this sort of unusual grey colour, rather similar to the Diamonds away kit of Tuesday night. Gets the ball back into play. Stanley underneath it, wins it, but gets the ball to Goff. Goff floats it in towards Taylor. He wins it. Goes out towards Kelly Evans, who hooks it back into play. Cunnington underneath it. It was fouled by Smith. Cunnington with the ball still. Puts the ball long, and a foul off the ball there by this number 4 Maposa. It's a bit of a dirty piece of work. Cunnington heads the ball down, can't keep it in, and that should be a throw. Marcus Law comes out now to tell the referee twice Maposa has got away with some late tackling and nothing been given. Throw in on the halfway line to be taken by Goff. Finds Declan Towers, but back to Goff. Stanley wins that though, bit of head tennis again. It's won by the number 8 Verma, ex-Kettering player. Stanley hooks the ball out. Bit of scrap at the moment. Maposa gets the ball. Can he do a tackle without actually urging somebody? Yes, well, he hasn't got the ball, so feeds it wide, but robbed by Holman. Holman has got Kelly in front of him. He puts Kelly through now. Kelly with a bit of pace on here. Only got Rhys Honus in the middle. Cunnington joins him. Feeds the ball back to Holman. Holman looks up, takes one touch, goes inside. Outside the penalty area, gives Kelly a chance to get one over. In comes Kelly, a high ball to the back post towards Cunnington. Cunnington can't get there. Kelly Evans might. It comes in and ricochets off a Tamworth player, the number 3 Goff, for a corner.
Good pressure again from Kettering. They do look very lively this afternoon going forward in these early minutes of the game, and hopefully we keep knocking on the door. Eventually it will open.
Yes, it's going to be Kelly to take this corner on our right hand side. Kettering had all the chances so far. Nothing you would say, well, I suppose the one that dribbled Well, they've hit the post, haven't they, and one just by the line. So, yes, they've had 2 good chances to go in, but in comes the corner now. Left-footed, easily dealt with, though, by Tamworth. Goes out towards Meikle on the edge of the penalty area. He might try a shot. He's useful at those, but this one goes wide of the Brian Martin Pallets. Powers into the Kettering fans who are all behind there under Brian Martin's sponsorship. Another £5, please, Brian. Goal kick to Tamworth. Still hasn't been taken. I say quite a decent crowd here. You'd have thought so after that game against our rivals on Tuesday. Might encourage a few to come back. Ball in play. Richards wins that one, gets it to Cunnington. Cunnington flicks it through to Meikle. Meikle trying to get Holman underway. It comes to Honus though. Honus heads the ball high. This should be cleared. It is. On into Cunnington. Chests it down. Cunnington takes a touch. Loses it. But it goes to Declan Towers. Towers with a bit of space. He's got Kelly Evans with him. He uses Evans. Puts it back to Declan Towers. Pitch churning up a little bit now. Towers under pressure. Has to put the ball back to Paul White. Paul White comes out of his area and delivers it towards Holman. Stanley heads the ball back towards Holman again. Holman can't get there. Meikle might get this one. He has. He comes inside Waite. Yep, here's Meikle. Puts a ball through to Cunnington. Cut out. And it's the number 8, Verma. He's beaten to it by Richards. Tamworth get the ball back. Very scrappy at the moment, but it is the number 2, Green, over the halfway line to Verma. He squares it to Goff. Goff advancing for Tamworth. Left foot, he puts the ball through to Late. He gets it out on the wing to the number 7 there. Waite flicks it through to Late. Might try a shot. Does left-footed. It comes off Kelly Evans. It's back in again, headed out by Towers, but it's back to Late again. Third time for him to try and get the ball in the area. He comes down by the line, cut out by Kelly Evans, and that should be a corner, and the referee's given a goal kick.
Yeah, I thought it was corner too full, but
so did the Tamworth fans behind there, they thought that was a corner. They definitely thought it was a corner, and I too think that was, but the man in the black says no. Paul White going to collect the ball. Puts it down in his 6-yard box. Remember, on Tuesday night we're playing in the City Security Services Challenge Cup 4th round away at Stratford. Paul White about to get play back underway. He does. He slips and it goes out for a throw-in, much to the delight of the Tamworth fans who are taking the mickey a little bit there. But a slip there on the...
I think one of the fans behind him is just doing the Conor McGregor walk as well,
That or he's inebriated. I'm not quite sure which, but...
I think they've seen the video, though, taking the mickey out of him there.
Throwing then to be taken by Goff. Kelly Evans underneath it. He wins that rather easily, but it goes to Late. He chests it down, gets the ball on the challenge, and Honus can't win it. Number 4 Poser does. Kettering at the ball to Richards. Richards to Honus. Honus falls down. It is with Verma. Verma under challenge by Holman, but still Verma with the ball. Spreads it wide to Kristen Green on the far side. He takes a little bit of time, puts it back to Verma. Midway in Kettering's half on the far side. Puts one in towards Taylor. Taylor flicks it. Comes off Kelly Evans to Richards. Richards looks up, now sets Rhys Honus on his way. Rhys Honus with some pace. He's got 3 around him at the moment. Going to lose the ball as the number 9, Greg Smith, has it. Feeds it back towards goalkeeper Simpson. He can only gives it though to Meikle. Meikle can't control this too well, does well under pressure, but then Maposa hooks the ball out. Cut out by Towers. Towers high into the night sky. And it is down back with... the number 3 Goff right in front of us. Goff falls down but still gets the ball, and referee has given a foul. He never even touched him, but there we have it. So light aircraft flying over Latimer Park. So Greg Smith with the free kick, right footed into towards Taylor, headed out by Stanley. Stanley gets the ball to Kelly. Kelly now the chase on here for Holman if he can get through here. Holman, and the flag goes up for offside rather late, but Holman goes down the challenge with the goalkeeper. Late flag from the linesman, He should have flagged before then.
Well, he's playing the new rule, isn't he, where he was waiting to see whether Rhys Onus was going to get onto the ball or whether Dan Holman was. We had a pretty good view of that. Dan Holman was a yard offside, to be honest.
Well, so I'm going to hand you over now to...
Correct decision. But because he waited...
My colleague Ed Palmer, who's just recovered from Tuesday night, he might be a bit croaky.
Closed in on the goalkeeper.
He's waiting here with bated breath to get on after that foul. So... Gary Foreman will talk you through it, and then Ed will come on and give you his expert opinions and commentary of what is going on. Flattery gets you everywhere, doesn't it? I'll have a pint later.
Luke Simpson launches the ball forward. Declan Towers underneath it, but the ball is still around Kettering's penalty box. Finally cleared by Gary Storer. Goff scoops it ball up into the air off a weird angle, but Greg Smith heads it forward. Towers underneath it again, but... muscled out by Verma. The ball breaks onto the left-hand side with Chris Late. Back to the ex-Poppyham, and Verma forward to Taylor, trying to find Goff at the left-back coming through, and all he can do is... he can't even keep the ball in play, actually, and it goes to a Kettering goal kick. And Eddie's back on.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. How's your voice?
It's getting there. It's not quite back yet. I'm sure we won't have quite the level of intensity in this game.
It would be hard to replicate.
But you know, Kettering a bit the better side here. But Tamworth have shown little bits, haven't they? I know you've already talked about it, but I do want to mention the Ellie Evans just hooves the ball down, play for a goal kick. The attire of the Tamworth manager: chinos, sand boots, gilet, flat cap.
Yeah,
he's gone for the budget farmer look, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's gone sort of strolling down the country high seat in Holmfirth or somewhere like that, isn't he? Yeah, it's definitely a strange look.
For a football match, yeah, it's very much sort of going out attire, isn't it? Maybe a Saturday afternoon around a shop somewhere.
It's almost Alan
very
Partridge.
It is, isn't it? It really is. But yeah, a nice stroll around the shops on a Saturday afternoon, possibly. Very casual. But he won't matter if his team gets something out of this game. Already been some interesting exchanges between the dugouts in the first half as Kelly Evans brings this and hits long. It's a big number 9, and when I say big number 9, I mean big number 9 gets there first. Ball goes out to Honus. Honus still going. He's done well. He's tucking his shirt. Yeah, he was tucking his shirt. Linesman spotted that one, but Stavridge still 0-0. Did I hear that? That's not too bad. Well, Marcus Kelly will have a chance to put this ball in the box. Both corners he's taken so far have really failed to beat the first man. But this is a different angle.
Third time lucky.
And it is the big number 9's job to mark Kettering's big number 20, Adam Cunnington. Big in two separate meanings of the word, though. That's not 10 yards anyway. Kelly puts the ball in. Doesn't beat the first man. Well, commentator's curse. Meikle back out to Kelly. Kelly might beat the first man this time. He doesn't. And away comes Tamworth with the ball. Flicked into the centre, and there's a lot of space for the number 4 to go into. Well covered by Declan Towers, and he's done really well. He's got the ball back again as well. Tries to set Dan Holman free. He's going to overhit it, and it'll be the goalkeeper who brings it into his grasp. And thumbs up from Dan Holman for the effort. Back underway with Tamworth on the halfway line. Back to the number 4. Hit down the line, cut out by Storer. Storer gets it to Kelly. Kelly to Storer. Storer is going to go back to Stanley. Stanley, nice little dummy. Sells the Tamworth striker all over the place, but then his pass is short to Honus and it's cut out. Storer gets there, spoons it backwards to Towers. Verma brings it in the centre half. Plays it out left to the number 11. The 11 now right on the touchline in front of us. Going down into the Kettering half, cutting inside, puts a ball in. Towers flicks it on to Paul White. Not what he wanted, but danger just about averted there as the Tamworth striker was lurking. It's the number 10, who's my team sheet's folded up in the wrong way.
Michael Taylor.
Thank you. Kick taken by Cunnington, gets there, and it's just cut out by the Tamworth striker. No, it's never going to be a back pass. It was worth calling for it, but it's bounced off his shin, incidentally, back to the goalkeeper. As the kick goes long, Towers is going to get there first. He's done well. He may try and see this out. Always gets the foul for that, the defender. If there's a defender versus striker and it's in your own corner and the defender goes down, defender always gets it.
Yeah, clear foul though, for me.
It is, yes it is.
Yep. So right decision, but become the last sort of 5-10 minutes has become a lot more even from the first 10 minutes where Kettering were creating chances, knocking on the door. It's sort of evened up a bit since then, which will be encouraging for Tamworth. And Ed just missed out there on the ball. On the gantry, came our way, but he wasn't quick enough. The reactions just weren't there.
I think you'll find there was a deflection. It took a deflection. It took a bobble, is what it took.
It took a bobble.
Header
off
away.
The scaffolding.
Exactly. Good jump by Kelly Evans. Doesn't win the header, but puts enough on it. Oh, that's taken a horrible bounce off the surface, and Towers gets there. Richards flicks forward. And that's going to go Tamworth's way against Richards. And Richards is saying, yes, but the lad who's just been fouled has done a similar thing to Lyndon Meikle not half a second ago.
Yeah. But Tamworth will be glad for the quieting period of the game. And they send 2 of their 3 central defenders forward to add a bit of height to their ranks at the front. Number 9 is not wandering forward. Greg, is it Greg Smith or Greg's Smith? Should be Greg's Smith actually, shouldn't it?
Well, maybe too many of those vegan sausage rolls that they've been advertising. Who knows? Ball goes in. Offside flag goes up. But yes, he's... let's just say Isden Christie probably challenges him.
Yeah, he's certainly of Christie shape. The shorts don't come down quite as low. He's a bit taller than Isden, but otherwise, yes, very similar. But at the moment, he's part of a defence that's holding Kettering Town to a scoreline of 0.
Cunnington all over him there. The number 5, Cunnington. That was
Mr. Kettle.
Joe Kettle.
Yep.
So reaching boiling point.
Oh.
I'm here all week. Stanley on it, looking for an option. Got nothing, goes short to Storer instead. Then Storer clips the ball into the box, looking for Cunnington. Cunnington doesn't quite get there, might fall for Richards. It does here. Flicked over, Kelly with a volley. Deflected away and should be cleared. Is cleared, only as far as Stanley, who puts his head onto it. It's going to be Kelly Evans who gets there first. Into Meikle. Meikle. Towers gets there and hits the ball long. Too far for Holman, not far enough for Cunnington, and Storer apparently has been caught in the head there by the Tamworth player. He's holding his head quite vigorously. It's the number 7, Tyrick Waite. Cut inside by Honus, who seems to have switched wings at the moment, into Holman. Holman back to Honus. Honus to Meikle. Meikle looking for an option. Goes onto his left foot. Still going, Lyndon Meikle. Then I think it hits a bobble and loses possession. That's put forward by Kelly. Cunnington's trying to challenge for it, but he can't get there. And the goalkeeper, Luke Simpson, is claiming that Cunnington held him back. He's not happy.
Stopped quick delivery there out onto the left-hand side, and the referee and the linesman missed it. So just a goal kick instead.
This linesman's got his work cut out this afternoon. It's Kelly over on the far side, back to Storer in his own half, back to Kelly, and a bit of miscommunication there. Allows Tamworth to pick the ball up on the halfway line on the far side. All the work over going there. Now Kelly gets it back and puts Holman through. Holman's on the side. He's right on the far left-hand side, though. He's not going to be able to do much from here, I wouldn't think. He cuts back onto his right foot. Lays it to Meikle. Meikle clips it over. Doesn't find Kelly Evans, only falls as Richards. Richards shoots! Oh, that is not far away at all. It's a corner. What a save. Well,
Wow.
The goalkeeper, Luke Simpson's got something on that, and it was a ferocious strike from Michael Richins, and an equally good save by the Tamworth stopper.
Yeah, pile driver from Michael Richins just outside the D of the penalty area, and I don't know whether it would have just crept in if Simpson hadn't got a hand to it, but it was close for one thing.
So, corner, can he beat the first man this time? He does. Comes to Stanley, he takes a heavy touch, he lofts it up into the box, headed away. Meikle's there. Meikle out to Honus, he misses it, but thankfully Kelly's got his back. Now it's with Honus on the left-hand side, bursting, run through to the box. Good tackle, another corner though. Kettering will have another go at it. Honus, that trademark run into the area towards the byline, and this time the dangling leg of the Tamworth man got the ball. Another corner for Kelly to take. Honus provides a short option, he's being marshalled, so that's gone. And it's brought someone out at the front post. No, he's used the short option. Honus now puts the ball in. Not a great ball. Meikle still going. Lyndon Meikle still going. Shoot! Oh, what a goal, Lyndon Meikle! There it is, the breakthrough. Meikle drifted past about 2 Tamworth players towards the right-hand side of the area and unleashed a shot across goal. Keeper beaten into the side netting on the far side. Brings Kettering ahead for the first time this game. It's Kettering 1, Tamworth 0.
Lyndon Meikle's in a very rich vein of form at the moment for Kettering Town, and another prime example there for you to watch on the highlights package later on. He skipped past Matt Bozer on the edge of the box, went into the box, and surprisingly, maybe thought the Tamworth defenders thought he was a bit too far wide to have a decent attempt on goal, but Mr. Meikle has other ideas, and he buried that top left-hand corner, leaving Luke Simpson with no chance whatsoever. And Kettering, after the early chances had gone by, have finally taken the lead.
Yep, still a lot of football to go in this game, of course, but the goal in the first half will give Kettering the encouragement, maybe a second before half-time if they've got the momentum. Who knows? Out to the right-back for Tamworth. Goes long, brought down by the number 7, I think it is. It's really confusing because all the Tamworth players' shirts don't correlate to where they're actually playing. So, good work by Holman. And then the linesman's given it as a throw-in for Tamworth. The linesman gave it to Kettering. The linesman's adamant that it's a Kettering throw-in. The referee's adamant it's a Tamworth throw-in. And now there's a discussion between... I've never seen the referee go over for a discussion for the linesman for a throw-in decision.
No, normally...
It's usually the big decision like penalties and handballs.
Yeah, unless the linesman has actually spotted a foul. That's the only thing I can think of. No, it's just a throw-in. Fair play to the linesman, because usually as soon as the ref gives it one way, they immediately change their decision, don't they? Back down.
But he was, he'd obviously seen... I mean, the linesman was a lot closer to it than the referee was.
Yeah, he was better placed. That's his job. Let him get him on with it.
Yeah, it looks like the referee there doesn't trust his linesman.
Kind of a heart-to-heart at half-time.
The kick goes back out for a Kettering throw-in. This one's more clear-cut. There's a waft of burgers and chips come across Latimer Park from the burger van.
Torturing us now, aren't they?
They are. Throw-in long, headed by Cunnington up, and then away by the back line. Good work by Meikle. Cunnington into Kelly, and Kelly's had his pocket picked there. Stanley manages to shin it up into the air after an awkward bounce. The head has been missed and then picked up by the big number 9. All a little bit scrappy over on that far side at the moment. And Cunnington gets a foot in the way and stops the ball going further forward, out for a throw-in for Tamworth. Instructions coming from the Tamworth bench. Good work by Richins. Meikle won't get there. Kelly Evans does. He's very high, Kelly Evans. Meikle back out to Honus on the right-hand side, who goes into the penalty area now. Right-hand side, he may have to cross it. Step overs, still stepping over. Crosses it. Stays in play. Back to Honus. Still in the area here. Plays it back to Kelly Evans. Evans takes a touch. Goes past the man. Ball put in there. Cunnington's far post. Header back across goal. Honus is there. Honus is caught. Goes down holding his face. Nothing given. Richards takes a touch down. Not on his left foot though. Goes back out to Storer. Storer to Meikle. Meikle back to Stanley. Honus still on his haunches here. Held up by Cunnington, but no one's there to land on it. And away comes the ball forward. And Towers manages to get that to Paul White. Just about. And Honus is back up now, holding his forehead. Nice turn around the corner there from Kelly. Cunnington back to Storer. Storer, that's a heavy touch from him. Still going, Gary Storer though. Still going. Reverse ball. Oh. Kelly's there, right-footed. Well, that's maybe why he's a left-footed player. He's not caught it as well as he would have liked. And it's bobbled on past the post. But what a run by Gary Storer.
Yeah, driving run from Gary Storer, bringing it right into the edge of the penalty box. And it was a very cute reverse pass to Marcus Kelly. I don't think Marcus was expecting it, and he probably therefore had no time to try and get it onto his left foot. And the right foot, yeah, that was a dribbler, as we say.
Well, he did dribble to an uneventful close. Stanley wins the header. No foul on the number 9, says the referee. Holman looks at him in disgust. Cut out by Meikle, that ball forward. Stands on it, but still keeps it, Meikle. Richards into Honus. Honus to Holman. Holman tries to get it back through to Honus, but it's well cut out by Jemson. And now Tamworth have the ball with their back line again. Kettering pushing high, though. Not going to get any time with it, the back line. Triangles have worked well, though, and they go long. Paul, though, straight out for Kettering throwing on the far side, which Storer will be relieved about.
Yeah, Kettering are pressing quite high up the pitch, but they can afford to do that because Tamworth have got 5 at the back. So they're going to then play the ball out hurriedly, and as you could see in that example, just put the ball out to play because there's nobody up there for them to receive the pass. So Kettering's tactics working pretty well so far.
Ball goes through from Cunnington. Honus is going to try and get there. Throw in for Tamworth, much to the disgust of Honus and the Kettering fans over on that far side, which is right in front of. I think I saw a few burgers going flying off the grill as well in disgust. Maybe wishful thinking. Richards wins the header, headed back towards him, though Meikle's this time with the header. Going to be kicked back forward again. Held up, and ball has been worked well over. There could be a chance here with the number 3. Tries to play a Hollywood ball through. Storer slips, but gets enough on it. Meikle does really well to get the ball away, and Richards clears the ball long. It's right into the channel. It's perfect. Rhys Honus is still dealing with him. Oh, well, the number 9 has had about 3 nibbles at Rhys Honus, and none of them have been spotted by the referee. And Rhys Honus gets no love from the linesman or referee. Cunnington going forward. Cunnington still going. Adam Cunnington still going. That's a foul. And Honus now takes his leave to give a few words to the referee. So does Lavery.
Lavery politely inquiring of the linesman why he didn't flag earlier.
Yeah, I think he's just asking the linesman why it wasn't a foul in his polite, normal, calm manner.
Yeah. Excuse me, please, would you mind telling me why it wasn't a foul on Rhys Honus?
I believe you might have been incorrect in that decision, linesman.
Yeah.
Would you consider the possibility that you might have been wrong? Or words to that effect.
Yeah, but never mind. Kettering do have a free kick, and in a better area of the pitch, the right-hand side of the, just outside the penalty box, Marcus Kelly is going to be taking it on his left foot.
It's one of those where, if you wanted to, Marcus Kelly could probably try and catch the keeper out and go for goal. It's one that you'd expect to be sort of lofted in, but the goalkeeper's showing him a lot of the goal.
Near post, could be.
He may want to have a dig at it. Kelly, he doesn't. He goes towards the back post, header by Cunnington. Richards gets there. It's scrambling around and eventually out well because the number 7 Waite has got a lot of space to break into. And Still on that far side, still going, still going. Kelly's back defending, he's done really
Great
well.
play,
And
Marcus
he's
Kelly.
found Michael as well.
Great tracking back there from Kelly.
Well, considering he was as far away as possible as it could be, because he was down in the opposite corner
Exactly,
of the pitch.
he took the free kick, and you can see the danger there of Tamworth breaking quickly. Got 3 up, and he was needed there to get the last tackle in. So that just shows it's not just about the fancy stuff and the trickery and the glory of scoring the goal. It's the work rate and the effort to get back and defend at times as well.
What's going on here? Oh, well, the number 9 is in... is it number 9?
No,
it's
he's too
not.
thin for the number 9. It's the number 5, I think.
It's the captain, Kettle.
Captain Kettle.
Captain Kettle. The superhero we didn't know we needed. The coffee grinder. There's no arch nemesis. Instant coffee is arch nemesis. Paul White with the free kick. Cunnington loses out on that header. Not often you say that. Storer brings it down. Cunnington does win that header, but not enough on it, and he's adjudged to be backing in to the player who's just had a talkie to by the referee. Dan Holman just having a chat with the referee. Nothing more than that. Goalkeeper slips over again. It's a better kick from him, and he might get something from this Tamworth. Still on the far side with the 7. That's Waite. Well, back to the number 2, Green. Verma to Matt Moser. Storer heads it across goal. Stanley heads out. Headed back into goal again. Stanley has to do something with this. Just nods it out of play for a corner. So chances for Tamworth with not that long to go, I wouldn't think, until the half.
No, only a few minutes to go before the half-time arrives. So, yeah, Kettering need to be alert for a set piece. Tamworth, as you probably expect, have committed 7 players forward for the corner.
Ball goes in. Paul White comes out, collects, and has no options to go for. He's surrounded by blue shirts, so he just slows the play down a little bit and waits for everyone to disperse from the area. Paul White then kicks long, looking for Cunnington. Cunnington wins that flick on. Honus wins that flick on, and Holman's got past the number 9. He's done really well, actually, the 9, because he was certainly outpaced by Holman, and he got a boot or a toe in there to keep the ball away. Ball in towards Cunnington. Cunnington flicks on. Kelly Evans wasn't quite as high, but you can appreciate that from Kelly Evans. He is a right back after all. I mean, a few comments have been mentioned what on earth he was doing in the penalty area in the 94th minute against your rivals at 1-1. We're glad he was, but
absolutely, he's quite attacking. He's certainly more attacking on the right-hand side for Kettering as fullbacks. Gary Storer less so, although Gary can get forward, as we've seen earlier on in this game at times. But yes, Kelly Evans, he does like to get forward. He's got a bit of spring in him, as we know. He's already got a headed goal for Kettering this season as well.
Good header by Honus. Meikle's going to try and put the Tamworth player off and forces him to put it out of play for a Kettering throw-in. Kelly Evans takes quickly to Honus. Honus loses possession, but Richards is there to help mop up. Puts it into the corner quadrant and cleared out by Tamworth for another throw-in. Good ball that from Richards, actually. He's put it right into the area where the defenders aren't sure whether it's going to go out of play or whether it's going to stay in for a Kettering player. So Richards now with the ball again towards Holman. Holman takes a touch. It's a little bit far behind him, so he is going backwards at the moment. Twists, turns back to Meikle. Meikle takes a touch, wants to shoot. Him and Holman were on the different wavelengths, and a little bit of confusion there for the Tamworth backline as The defender didn't need to do anything but got a boot there. Thankfully the keeper spared his blushes, and elsewhere Gary Storer battled well to win a throw-in for Kettering. Now he has the ball again. Clipped in, cut out by Tamworth, headed long. Stanley gets underneath it to Meikle, back to Stanley. Stanley, cross-field pass, a really good pass to Honus. Honus might keep it in, he's slipped though. He's done really well, tries to go through the legs of the number 3. Goff doesn't quite get there, and away come Tamworth. Kelly Evans has picked the number 11's pocket though. Holman through to Honus. Honus isn't going to get there, and it'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, Kelly Evans, good tackle. Unfortunately came to nothing there, but expected to see the board up any moment now. Just telling us how much extra time we've got to play.
There we go, 1:30 plus 1 minute added. 2 minutes 30 by my maths. Even I can do that one.
Yep.
Meikle gets in the way of that goal kick. Turns well, beats his opposite number, and then puts the ball through to Honus, who either he'd made the wrong run or Meikle played the wrong pass. I'm sure they'll discuss that at half time. Armand Verma, nice little Cruyff turn past Richards, and now it's out to this left hand side for Tamworth. Cunnington's back defending. Cunnington's done really well, and it's still going. Cunnington's down, injured, and I think he's stopping it. No, he's given a free kick to Kettering. Cunnington's still down. Could ask for the sports therapist, physio to come on.
Well, he's saying that the trainer doesn't need to come on, but Adam Cunnington hasn't moved. He's still on his side, lying down on a cold pitch, holding his head. But I don't think it's his head. And now the trainer is allowed on.
Oh, there we go. Got there eventually.
Hopefully nothing too serious. I have to ask Ed, do we know why Adam Cunnington was promoted into the team and Aaron O'Connor dropped down to the bench?
Illness. Aaron O'Connor is ill. He's on the bench. Aaron O'Connor.
He is.
I don't think he'll be used if Kettering can help it.
No.
1 minute added on. There'll be time on top of that now for this injury here, but yes, apparently O'Connor's been under the weather this morning.
Yeah.
So
a lot of it about.
And like I say, it's one of those things. Cunnington didn't play badly against Diamonds. It's just the game plan didn't work.
No.
And actually, he's done really well today, Cunnington. The flick-ons have worked. The Kettering players are getting onto the end of them, and could have had a goal. Cunnington. It was a difficult header, admittedly, but he's got a shot on target.
Yeah, he's looked reasonably bright. I think you could say that for all of the Kettering players this afternoon. There's been certainly no hangover from the celebrations of New Year's Day.
Not on the pitch, anyway.
Not on the pitch. Not on the pitch. That's certainly true this afternoon. But we're only obviously halfway through this game, so certainly not counting any chickens, turkeys, if there's any left.
Oh yeah. In which case, then I'm going to shoot myself back down to the warmth of the studio.
Yeah, I thought you were.
Yes, I'll leave you.
Have you noticed how the last 10 minutes the temperature's dropped by about 3 degrees?
It has, yes. So I'm going to go back down into the warm. You can finish the half off, and me and Cookie will do some half-time analysis and decide whether we fancy coming back up or not. It might be too warm down there.
Okay. Adam Cunnington is on his feet, and he's gingerly limping to the sideline, and Paul White will pump the free kick forward from well inside the Kettering half as we play out the last minute or so of this first half at Latimer Park. Straight down and cleared by Greg Smith. Stanley back into the Tamworth half. Meikle controls to Kelly, plays it forward looking for Holman. Holman does well to nip in front of Kettle on the far side, looking to get a cross in maybe, or to come back out. He eventually comes out to Storer, back to Kelly, who delivers on his left foot. Cleared from Tamworth's defence though, but only as far as Kelly again on the far side, looking for Gary Storer, who's made a run forward on the left, cuts in onto his right foot. coming across the penalty box, tries a shot, hits Dan Holman, who is offside. And the referee said that will do. And the half-time whistle goes here at Latimer Park. It's been a good half for Kettering. A bright start, a quieter middle period, but come good with another good goal. Excellent goal that you'll be able to see later on from Lyndon Meikle. And as the players and officials walk off the pitch, half-time score is Kettering Town 1, Tamworth 0.
One Tamworth 0. The all-important goal scored on 29 minutes by Lyndon Meikle, and another classic goal from him. He's only scored 6 goals this season. All 6 have been stunners.
They have, and this is no exception at all. He's just gone past 2 Tamworth players like they weren't there, and like Gary Foreman said, actually, I think Tamworth thought he was too wide for a shot. Not for Lyndon. He's absolutely cracked it across goal into the side net on the far corner. It's a really, really good finish, and he seems to score them right when we're right behind them, so we get the perfect angle for it as well.
Yeah, you'll see that on our highlights package a little later in the week. We have found the Hitchin highlights as well, so you'll be looking at those 2 classic goals there. But what a good goal from Lyndon Meikle, his 6th of the season so far. And following on from that one against Rudgeon and Diamonds on Tuesday night. It's a good job Kettering are winning, because Stourbridge are matching Kettering's score. A 1-0 at Bedworth at the moment. Other scores: Biggleswade Town 0, St Ives 0, Hitchin Town 1, AFC Rudgeon Diamonds 2, Kings Lynn 0, Leaston 0, Stratford 0, Alvechurch 0. Those are the scores that really involve Kettering in the top 5. But yeah, it's hasn't got the same sort of urgency or the same sort of passion as Tuesday night, and it was always going to be a difficult game to follow. But Kettering responded well this time, unlike when they played against Stourbridge, and then the following fixtures from there were a bit of a letdown. Yeah, first half has been really all Kettering. I'm not too sure Paul White's had a save to make thus far. He's come out to collect a corner, and that's about it. Tamworth, you could tell, set up for a draw in this game, because they started with 5 at the back, and their front 2 aren't exactly the most mobile of strikers either. So it was very much lump it up and see whether they can hold up play a little bit. Their number 9 is certainly marshalling the defence, we shall say. Yeah, but, Greg Smith, he's certainly put a few pounds on, hasn't he? I mean, I thought Lyndon Christie was a man mountain, but this guy's Lyndon Christie, Iceland Christie. Is he one of ours?
He is a footballer, yeah.
He's a footballer. Iceland Christie of...
Who was Lyndon Christie?
Lyndon Christie. It's a combination.
He's a runner.
It's a runner. Yes, that's the one. But certainly he put the pounds on at Bedworth, and Greg Smith is in that blend as well. And I think Fortune Mapasa has been rather lucky not to get a yellow card. He put 2 very bad tackles in that.
Well, yeah, the first half there was one on Richins, which I think they were lucky to get away with, and then one straight after, I think, on Kelly, was it? I think
Kelly Evans.
Kelly Evans, sorry. Again, they were. I think had they been further into the game, they would have been yellow cards. I don't like the logic the referees used, because if it's a yellow card, it's a yellow card. But he may have thought we're very early on into the game. It maybe just be worth calming him down and see where we go from there. But a lot of referees will do that. In my personal opinion, a yellow card's a yellow card. So, but there we are. Apart from that, I mean, it has all been Kettering, really. I mean, Luke Simpson made one really good save from Michael Richins.
What a shot that was.
He's caught it so well. I'm not too sure whether it was going in or not, but as a goalkeeper, you can't take the chance. He's not the tallest of goalkeepers, Luke Simpson, either. So to tip it over the bar was expertly done by him, because it came off Richard's boot at some pace as well.
Excellent missile stuff, wasn't it? It was certainly one that, again, will be on the highlights that you'll be able to see, and was rather unlucky. But the talking point before the game was the omission of Adam Cunnington, but then midway through our pre-match amble, we got the message that Cunnington was going to replace O'Connor, who looks like he's ill, but he's on the bench. So that was the only real talking point. As Ed said at the time, it's the same lineup that started off against Rudgeon and Diamonds on Tuesday.
Well, yeah, and let's be honest, it shows that lineup is a good team. I mean, people were questioning it at the beginning of the game obviously the first half at Diamonds, but you know, it's just a case of against Diamonds the game plan didn't work. Against Tamworth it is working, and you know, Cunnington's been instrumental this half. He's been winning headers. He's been holding the ball up really well.
Maybe.
Yeah, arguably could have scored. And actually, he's done really well this half, Adam Cunnington. So it's so good when you look at a team and you go, that's maybe not our strongest lineup, and it still plays as well as possible. And you know, Marcus won't bring an O'Connor unless he absolutely has to. But you know, this is going well for Kettering.
Yeah, I was going to say we've had some good performances. Again, Declan Towers, a tower defence. I know it's the old cliche, tower defence, but Craig Stanley certainly shown his worth since he's come from Lancaster City. And once again, Holman and Honus and Kelly Evans putting some tremendous shifts, aren't they? Yeah,
everyone's working hard, and it really is incredible to do as well when you think of the fixture sort of
just past
build up that Kettering have had, and the games, of course, that they've had as well. Tough game against Kings Lynn on that wide pitch, the game against Bedworth on the artificial pitch, the game against Diamonds here, a big difficult game anyway with a boggy pitch. It's, you know, it's really good to see that Kettering have got the fitness and the energy to keep working as well as they have, and you know, credit to the players who have obviously been keeping themselves fit and healthy when the games haven't been on as well.
Yeah, it's also a good substitute bench for Kettering. We've got Toseland, Salcombe, Mills, Graham and O'Connor. As Ed said, if O'Connor is needed, I'm sure that he will come on, but if not needed, I'm sure he won't come on. But he won't be appearing, I wouldn't have thought, at Stratford on Tuesday night. Hopefully he'll be available for Colville a week today on the 12th of January. Colville winning 3-0 away at Hales Owen, just outside the playoff positions at the moment. But they've hit form, Colville, over the recent few weeks. This is their 5th game in a row that they have won. They had a little dip in form. They were up there with Kettering and Stourbridge early on the season, a bit like Royston. Then they fell behind, but they're hitting form right at the wrong time for us, as we got them twice in January.
Well, it always is the way, isn't it? We always play the informed team.
It just seems
it's always the same way. Whenever they could be rubbish for 30 games straight, and then the last 5 games building up to it, they'll have won all of them, and then they play Kettering on the 31st game. It's always the same way with Kettering. We can never just play someone who's on a rubbish form.
Does seem that way, doesn't it? But that's the future this afternoon. We're only winning 1-0. I'll take a 1-0 win if that's all it's going to be. But Kettering certainly have played the better football and have had the better chances. And as Ed said, Luke Simpson pulled off a really good save, denying Michael Richards an absolute perler of a shot, which, as I say, you will see. What do you think Marcus Law will be saying to them at half time?
I don't think we need to change anything at all. I think just go out, do exactly the same as he did the first half, because they've thwarted any attack thrown at them by Tamworth. Paul White's hasn't really got his kit dirty at all. And you know, going forward wise, maybe just protect possession a little bit going forward. There's been a few times where Kettering have possibly lost the ball a little bit cheaply. Also, tell them to ignore the officials who are having a poor game today.
I didn't want to mention the officials too much, but yes, you are right. The linesman in particular down here has had an absolute nightmare, in my opinion, missing everything, isn't he?
Yeah, and Marcus will be saying, ignore that. Don't let those get on top of you, because once you do,
how
then
frustrating is it as a player that when you can see the decisions going against you time in, time out, and nothing has been done to resolve them?
Well, it's not so much that, it's the fact that the unwillingness to admit the mistake. Because there are times when, I'm sure it's happened with you and with myself, if you've been playing football, you see something so clearly that the officials have missed, and you feel there's such a sense of injustice, and the officials are so often just unwilling to say,
adamant,
actually,
they're right, aren't they?
yeah, actually, do you know what? I may have messed up there. There's nothing I can do about it now. But, you know, I may have got that one
wrong.
But
then they overcompensate, don't they? They tend to get overboard then to make that decision right by another ridiculous decision that they get the other way.
Yeah, it's even things up, and then you get on a slippery spiral. It's so frustrating when you can see decisions. I mean, Honus with the number 9. The number 9's had 3 nibbles at him, got nowhere near the ball each time. Honus has ended up on the floor, and the linesman's just said, no, there's nothing wrong with it. You know what? It's a foul. It just is a foul, and you know we had that hoo-ha on the far side with the referee and the linesman not making their mind up as to which throw-in which way the throw-in was going to go. Fair play to the linesman on the far side, actually, because a lot of the linesmen, as Gary Foreman said, will change their mind if the referee overrules them. But he was adamant. He went, no, I saw it come off a Tamworth foot last. And, then the referee's gone over and had a chat with him.
It's also rare that a referee will overturn his own decision, isn't it, with like that. But there were pre-match we had Kevin Clarkin from Tamworth, and one of the Tamworth media, and he said to look out for Chris Lake, the number 11, and new striker Michael Taylor. They are probably the two players that may have impressed. Taylor's not done a great deal, has he? Out of position, a bit lumbersome, a bit cumbersome.
The issue is he's not getting any service up there because Tamworth just aren't attacking that well. I've actually enjoyed watching Armand Verma. He's done quite well. A few little turns, a few good passes from him. I don't think he's played too poorly at all. And actually, I think Waite, for all he's worth, has actually tried to take some control of the Tamworth midfield, and I think he's been quite instrumental in anything that Tamworth do get going forward.
Defended reasonably well, haven't they? They've had a lot of sort of blocks and melees in the 6-yard box they've got away with. I mean, it could have gone anywhere, and it's we've hit the post, it bounced out, we've had a shot save, had a miss kick.
Yeah, it's 1-0. I don't think Tamworth could be really too argumentative if it was 2. I think Kettering have probably done enough to get that second goal. As you say, we hit the post early on. We've had
one of us by the post. And,
Cunnington head in. Of course, it was 1-on-1, wasn't it? Honus past the number 9 again, Greg Smith, and a deflection from either the keeper or Smith put it behind for a corner. But the game's still got a long way to run, and I reckon Kettering will probably get another couple if they come out the second half the way they did the first.
Well, let's hope so for Kettering fans who will be wanting another win after that win on Tuesday night. I know we keep harping on about it, but it's always difficult to come back into a game after something like that. There was 2,100 there. There's nowhere near that amount of people out there today. It's a good, healthy crowd, though. I'm not quite sure what it is. We'll bring you that when we can. Also, man of the match, very even at the moment. We've got 45 minutes more of football to bring you. A little bit more, maybe, with that time added on. So we'll be handing you over to our commentary team of myself and Ed and Gary Foreman in a few moments, as we are a bit understaffed at the moment, but we'll be doing that for you. As I say, we're away at Stratford Town on Tuesday and away at Colville on the 12th. The 15th of January, it's back here at Latimer Park against Biggleswade Town, and on the 19th of January, Royston Town at home, and then we've got Colville at home on the 22nd, so 3 home games in a row, all that dependent on the beast from the east, if that comes back to haunt us. We never know with the weather at this time of year, but that's the fixture list at the moment, with the pulsating game against Stourbridge away, which could be not a title decider, but certainly if Kettering are only 1 point behind or ahead of Stourbridge at that time.
Is there such thing as a 6-pointer at the top of the table?
Yes, there is.
Well, there you go.
And there we are, a 6-pointer at Stourbridge the last Saturday of January. Again, weather dependent. We shall be covering all those games for you. You won't miss a thing, hopefully, and we'll bring those to you. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. When we came on air, we had 962, I think it was. So we're getting to that magical 1,000 subscribers. And if you haven't done that, it's free of charge. You just go on there, subscribe, and then you become a subscriber, and you can get all the Kettering Town info that you want from our YouTube channel. And of course, if you've not been on the Kettering Town Poppies TV website, everything you need to know about Poppies TV and Kettering Town's media is on there, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and you can look at the archived footage to your heart's content.
Yes, we're back in Stoney's painstakingly going through a lot of footage that we've got from that fundraiser and other footage that people have donated to bring it all for you to see. We're trying to get a complete collection of Kettering Town past matches. I know it's an impossible task to get everything, but we'll do what we can to get as much in one place as possible. Right, I'm going to put the coat back on, get ready to join Ed and Gary upstairs. It's Kettering Town 1. Tamworth 0. Join us at the end for hopefully some managerial speak and one of the players coming in to talk about today's game. But at the moment, we'll see you in a few moments in the gantry.
Well, welcome back to Latimer Park. I've just clambered up the gantry. It looks like that Tamworth are going to make a second half substitute. Manager Green having a quick word. We're not quite sure who's come off yet, but they are going to make a sub. And it's going to be Jack Kocannon who is coming on for the visitors. And we'll let you know who comes off in due course. Kettering still with the same 11 that finished impressively that first half, and that substitution is now being made. They haven't got a dizzy scoreboard to it looks like the number 11 Chris Late has gone off, who did seem to get a pull-up, didn't he, in that first half?
Yes, he did, towards the end of the half, so which was to see if it's a like-for-like swap or whether it involves a change of formation to Tamworth, whether they want to commit another man forward or stick to the same 5-4-1 that they started the game. But we'll probably have to wait and see until we're underway for that to happen. But he seems to be more like a like-for-like swap, the way that they're lining up before the kick-off.
Kettering kicking towards the tin hat end. It's jam-packed again for this second half, and we're wanting to extend that lead, and Richards gets the ball back to Declan Towers. Towers takes a one touch, fires it towards Cunnington. Cunnington can't get there, headed out by Tamworth, but only to Cunnington. Might try a strike. Cunnington, ball back to Richards. Richards takes it one way, takes it another, dribbles by three, but it's cleared straight away only towards Storer. Storer floats one in towards Holman and Cunnington, headed out, might go for a corner, unless the number 3 Goff can stop it, which he does. And it reaches Meikle. Meikle flicks it to Kelly Evans, who's on the byline, flicks it to Holman. Holman turns, still with Holman, and Tamworth get the ball off Holman with Verma. And the substitute gets his first touch, Kocannon. Meikle robs him though. Taylor gets it off Richards. Square ball over here now to the number 2 Green to chase, but Storer's there to marshal it off, and that'll be a Kettering throw-in right down by the corner flag on our right hand side. 1-0 here if you've just joined us at Latimer Park. Listen to Kettering's Poppy's TV audio with myself and Gary Foreman. Later Ed Palmer will join us. Rhys Honus gets the ball back. Cunnington blocked off. Referee says nothing. It looked like a handball there, but nothing given either. That was Waite. He's got the ball over on the far side to Goff. Goff with a bit of space. Gets it square to Maposa, who's lucky not to have been booked in that first half. Maposa still with the ball. Back out there to Goff on the far side. Maposa runs forward, but he puts the ball back to Kettle. Kettle puts a long ball in for the number 8 to head up over the head by... A brilliant save there, though, from Paul White. Overhead kick from Michael Taylor. And Paul White right on his goal line. One-handed goes down and saves that. That would have been a certain equaliser.
Yeah, Kettering a little bit lax there. Again, far too much space in the box there. And I think it was Waite, actually, with the scissor kick. That good save from the keeper. He was called into action again. And this one a little bit more comfortable there. Michael Taylor, it was this time bearing down on goal, but Paul White scoops the ball up. And yeah, early warning for Kettering.
Yeah, Tamworth with 2 chances there to equalise. Paul White very alert. Richard Lavery down here going ballistic at Kettering's lackadaisicalness, but Greg Smith gets the ball back only towards Richards on the halfway line. He gets it to Meikle. Meikle still with the ball, loses it. Away come Tamworth, fired up in that half-time talk. Gets the ball to Storer. Storer to Kelly. Kelly's ball rebounds, goes to Verma. Verma hooks the ball through towards Taylor, but Stanley gets it to Richards. Richards trying to find Cunnington. Can't. It's hoofed out by Tamworth, only towards Kelly. Kelly can't do much with it, and Tamworth get the ball away, kick it out there for a Kettering town throw-in. Rather scrappy stuff, but Kettering rather fortunate to be on level, winning 1-0, sorry, after the first 2 chances of the second half went to Tamworth, who really, if Paul White hadn't been alert, would have been at 1-1. So the Irishman doing really well in the goal mouth as Storer gets the throw in towards Cunnington. Cunnington gives the ball away though to Verma. Verma finds Mapassa, headed out by Stanley towards Meikle, but Mapassa gets the ball again. Meikle grobs it off him. Does well, Meikle. He's got Rhys Honus in front of him. A late tackle there by Maposa on Meikle, and it's a free kick to Kettering on the far side, just inside Kettering's half. Declan Towers strolls over to take this. Places the ball in front of him, takes a few strides back. Gary Storer encouraging Declan Towers to get a good delivery into the area. Ball presented there towards Cunnington. Cunnington heads the ball on a flick on to Kelly. Kelly can't get there though, and cleared to Verma. Verma hooks the ball through to Taylor. He's beaten to it by Towers. He gets it to Meikle. Meikle heads the ball down under pressure by Maposa, and that should be Tamworth ball, which it is. On the far side by the Burton Park Wanderers stand, it's still Tamworth with the ball. Looking a bit of a different Tamworth side than that first half. They've had more going forward in the first 5 minutes in the second half than the whole of that first half. Pumps the ball in. Paul White looks at it, and it goes over the Brian Martin pallet stand into the car park behind the goal, and a new ball is required.
It's been a decent response from Tamworth, to be fair. They come out, as you say, the second half brighter. They've kept to the same formation, but there seems to be a willingness that when they do get the ball, they're going to actually try and pass the ball forward rather than sideways. And so far they've created a couple of chances, one in particular that Paul White had to be very alert to.
So White's goal kick is met by Cunnington, flicks it on. Holman couldn't get there. Richens can. It comes off Verma. A bit of head tennis coming on. Holman retrieves the ball, trying to get it to Cunnington. Can't. Cleared by Tamworth. It's the substitute to Cannon. Gets the ball, but only towards Storer. Put on his head, puts it down, cut out, and that goes for a throw-in to Tamworth. Green with it. He's taking his time with this. There's not a lot of movement for him. He's found Verma. Verma flicks it on towards Taylor. But Taylor gets the ball back and robbed by Holman. Holman, little tricky touch there, trying to find Honus, and it weaves away from Honus. Out comes Luke Simpson, collects the ball, bowls it out on the far side towards Christian Green. Green over the halfway line. He finds Waite. Waite with the ball. Let's Waite here with the ball. He gets it back to Jemson. Jemson looks up, puts one into the area, headed out by Richens. Only to Maposa though. He might try a long ranger. He hasn't. He's fed the ball through to the substitute Cannon, who's made quite an impact since he come on. He comes inside, flicks the ball through, headed out by Towers, but only back to the substitute. Up comes Kettle. Kettle with plenty of space. Feeds the ball right towards Green. Green squares it to Verma in the centre of the park. He feeds one through towards Taylor, headed out by Declan Towers to Meikle. Only slams the ball. He finds Kettle. Kettle squares it to Greg Smith. He pumps it back in. Beaten to it though by Towers. Overhead kick there by Richens, who retrieves the ball again. It's back with him. Richens on a run. Beaten to it though by Green. Maposa though over the halfway line for Tamworth, feeds it wide out there to Waite. Waite being pressurised by Kelly Evans, and Evans a good tackle, but it still goes Tamworth's way. Richens, the centre of the park, gets it back for Kettering. Meikle under pressure, Kelly under pressure, sorry, gives the ball to Storer on this right hand side. He feeds it through to Holman. Holman in Kettering's half, has to play the ball back, which he does, to Stanley. Stanley, bit of space for him to run forward now. Squares it to Holman. Holman back to Stanley. And now into the Tamworth half. Finds Kelly. Kelly with a bit of space. Feeds through Cunnington. Cunnington on the left-hand side. Got nobody with him. Needs a bit of help. Cunnington still with the ball on the edge of the penalty area. Storer's coming to help him. Cunnington finds Storer. Storer overlaps. Down by the byline. Puts one in. Looked like a handball there. Definitely a handball. And it goes out for a corner, but it came off the arm for the corner. Kettering fans behind there not happy with that decision. Not too many complaints from Kettering, but it's the first corner of the second half of the Poppies.
Ball to hand, I think. More
no such thing when it's in Kettering's favour.
Well, he was certainly very close to cutting the cross out, but Kelly with a corner. And it's Amon Verma who rises to head that one clear as far as Rhys Honus on the box, edge of the box, but it's Tamworth who are breaking forward again.
Ball back with Meikle in Kettering's half. Feeds the ball, a long ball throw, hopeful ball, and no Kettering player there. Simpson collects it easily in the penalty area, telling his players to go forward. Half-time fireworks, and Dennis Green must have done something to Tamworth. They certainly look a bit different side to that stagnant first half performance. Cunnington flicks the ball through. Now it's 1-on-1 here with Rhys Honus and Simpson. Honus comes through, goes bound, is brought down, penalty. And that should be a sending off for the goalkeeper, who's last man. It's a booking, and Honus rolling around there, but goalkeeper very, very lucky.
Yeah, that was a clear penalty all day long. Rhys Honus taking it round the goalkeeper, and it was a despairing challenge from the goalkeeper, Luke Simpson, to bring Rhys Honus down. And Kettering Town have another penalty here at Latimer Park. Luke Simpson has got into the book for his challenge, but if he hadn't have made that challenge, then Rhys Honus would have rolled the ball into an empty net.
It's going to be Dan Holman who's going to take penalty responsibilities in the absence of Brett Solkin, who's looking on down here in front of me. Holman's taken one and scored one. He scored a one in the penalty shootout, though, against Barwell. But it is Holman now behind the tin hat. Holman steps up, takes a stagger, sends goalkeeper one way, 2-0.
Dan Holman, coolness personified on the spot there. Took his half stutter step, just gave him that extra half a second just to see whether the goalkeeper was going to move. The goalkeeper did move, he was diving to his left. Dan Holman rolls it into the opposite corner.
Kettering's 18th penalty of the season so far. They had 21 in total, which was a record last season. They may even beat that.
Well, we're certainly on course, well of course, to beat that, and some might have been more debatable than others, but that was...
all blatant penalties are in Kettering's favour. You must realise that, Gary.
That one was Stonewall. That was definite Stonewall one.
And that's the 14th penalty that Kettering have scored, and Dan Holman takes his tally to the season to 8 league goals now. He's marching up there.
Yeah, he's been a very good signing for the Poppies, there's no doubt about that.
So Waite gets it underway for the Lambs, finding Cannon. Paul White comes out with a wayward header, but it's headed into Paul White's arms by Storer. Ball with Paul White, 2-0 now, it's a better feel about it. White will want to keep a clean sheet, delivers the ball towards Honus, it doesn't get there. Verma gets the ball, heads it onto Kirkcannon. Over the halfway line, Kirkcannon feeds the ball through to Greg Smith. He fires it at Stanley. And Declan Towers gets the ball away. It's a chase now for Green and Honus. Honus wins the battle and unluckily gets the ball tangled in his feet. And that should be a throw-in to Tamworth. Just heard that Stourbridge are matching our score at Basement Club Bedworth United 2-0. So positions won't change tonight. And they also got a penalty. It's Rhys Honus though with the ball, gives it away. Towers retrieves it for Kettering, heads it back, trying to find Cunnington, can't. Maposa gets the ball, still with it. Powers it to Kirkcannon on this right-hand side. Kirkcannon beats Cunnington. In steps Stanley. Tripped by Smith, nothing given by the referee. Towers slips, gives the ball straight to Verma. Verma finds Waite. It's Mack with Verma in the centre of the park. He's in the centre circle as we speak in Kettering's half. Feeds a good ball to Kirkcannon here on the right-hand side. He's got Storer in front of him. Still Kirkcannon with the ball. Tries in a shot. Headed out by Stanley, and that has gone for a throw-in right by the corner flag on our right-hand side. 2-0 here to the Poppies at Latimer Park.
Tamworth have made an adjustment to their formation since the second Kettering goal went in, and that means that Greg Smith has gone up top with Michael Taylor, so it's now a 4-4-2 for them. Penalty.
And Kettering have given away a penalty. It is Taylor who goes down. Looked rather innocuous, to be honest, but the referee straight away pointed to the spot, much to the dismay of the Kettering officials in front of us. So...
yeah, you could hear the contact. I can't quite see. Was it Stanley?
It was. Stanley, anyway, yeah. It's going to be Greg Smith facing Paul White. And this is Tamworth's first shot on target of the afternoon, to be honest.
Perhaps.
Takes a long run up here. Hasn't been taken yet. Greg Smith then walks up to it. Paul White gets a hand to it on the line. And the follow-up has been put in.
Yep, Matt Moser Number 4 was quickest to react from the save from Paul White. It was an excellent save. Paul White's disappointed that a Kettering player wasn't following up as quickly as Matt Butmosa was, so he'll feel unlucky there and a little bit disappointed in some of his defenders, and it was a disappointing goal to give away for Kettering.
It was a great save from Paul White, going the wrong way, getting a hand to it as he did, and it went just in front of the goal line. Nobody defending for Kettering. Tamworth were up for it quicker, tapped into an empty net really with Paul White stranded, and that gives Tamworth an undeserved chance to get back into this game as Gary Storer miskicks this as Cocannon gets the ball, beats Storer. Storer retrieves it though, puts it in towards Kelly. Kelly back to Storer. Storer pumps the ball, can't find Cunnington. Richards getting a bit scrappy now, ball pumped into the air. Cunnington heads the ball on, misses it, goes down, but away now comes Richards. He's got Honus on the way again. He's inside the penalty area, might try a shot, plays it square. Nobody following up though, and that was a back pass, but nothing has been given by the referee. I think that rule seems to have disappeared these days.
Yeah, it was unlucky there that Rhys Honus unfortunately put the ball back in, but there's nobody up with him. He's a quick runner and nobody else could keep pace with him on that occasion, so yeah, wasted opportunity for Kettering.
Well, games against Tamworth never really are easy. It's always one goal in it or a draw. Hope it's not a draw today, and I hope the one goal goes in Kettering's favour. But as Cunnington is barged off the ball there, it's Greg Smith with the ball. He puts it back to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper clears it into the night sky. It might stay in. It has been trapped by Meikle, who does very well indeed. Squares it through to Holman. Holman leads it for Kelly. Kelly flicks on to Honus. Honus heads it on to Holman. And cleared by Tamworth as Cocannon trying to get there before Storer. He can't, but Storer's ball, not a good one for Kelly. Storer gets the ball back to Stanley. Stanley, right-footed, but out of position for him. Gives the ball away to Cocannon. Richards over his head, trying to find Holman. Holman beaten to it. Richards gets the ball back, comes off his head the wrong way. Verma in the centre, lumps the ball forward towards Taylor. Taylor robbed by Stanley. Stanley, though, robbed himself by the number 8. Is a weight on the far side now. He's got some space here. In he comes here. It could be 2-2. Great save there from Paul White. It cannons off Paul White and goes for a corner. Paul White furious with his defence. Kettering need to up their game. They've certainly gone to sleep a bit at the back. It's a corner to Tamworth, and their tails are up since they've got that goal back against the run of play, really.
Yeah, danger signs flashing for Kettering a little bit. They've not really got going in the second half at all, and when you thought that they got the second goal for the penalty, you thought, well, that might steady the ship again, but a quick penalty return from Tamworth, and they're certainly up for it.
Well, the corner about to be taken, and a bit panic stations in the Kettering defence. Referee trying to sort out the melee in front of Paul White. There's a jostling gun. In it comes now. There is Smith. He misses it. And Storer has the chance to get rid of the ball, which he does. Gets Meikle underway. Honus is running down that wing, but a poor ball there from Meikle, who slices the ball out of the ground onto pitch 2. And it's a throw-in to the Lambs in Kettering's half. Verma puts the ball over Kelly's head, and then again, Kelly gets back. Away it goes Maposa, who's got that goal. He's playing up front. He dribbles by Storer. Meikle robs him, gets the ball back to Storer. Storer comes away with it, flicks it to Kelly. Kelly back to Storer. He's under pressure by 2 Lambs, and Maposa gets the ball in the centre of the park. Has to play it back though, right back to Luke Simpson. Cunnington tries to close him down, delivers the ball on the far side. Greg Smith can't get there, but Cocannon, who swaps sides, can. The ball comes through here. It's 1-on-1 over the ball. Paul White comes out. A good save there from Paul White. They tried to lob him, and that was another chance there for Tamworth, who certainly had the better of the chances in this second half.
Yeah, Paul White alert again there, and yeah, worrying signs for Kettering. They're being stretched at the back. The runners are getting in, and they're getting chances in this second half. And Kettering Town just need to reorganise and get their passing going again, because in this second half the touches that Kettering Town have had on the ball have been few and far between.
Well, there's a lamb down on the Lamb Lies Down at Rockingham Road. Was that it's an album by Genesis, isn't it? The Lamb Lies Down at Rockingham Road. Was that an album by Genesis? Not quite sure, but there's This looks like a touch of cramp, but it'll give Marcus Law and his staff a chance to try and get some messages to the Poppies players, who certainly look a bit fragile at the back in this second half. Is the fatigue from the game on Tuesday night beginning to take a bit of it out of them?
I was just thinking that myself, Paul. It was a very intense game, to say the least, against the local rivals, and only played a few days ago. And this is the kind of time that a little bit of fatigue, mental fatigue, if not physical fatigue, might begin to set in. But Tamworth have put us on notice that if we don't up our game, they're definitely going to get something out of this one.
Well, Kettering catch some of those fans from Tuesday night. There's 805 here at Latimer Park. Ball back with Storer to Reese Honus. Right footed, puts one ball in, but out comes Luke Simpson. I'm going to hand you over now to Ed Palmer, who will close out this game for you. It's Kettering Town 2, Tamworth 1 here at Latimer Park.
Richards there trying to put some challenge in, still going. Holman does it and Holman's gone. Honus is having a battle with the number 2, but Holman's still got the ball, goes past 1, goes past 2, is held up. Has to go back to Richards. Richards takes a touch back to Holman. Holman plays a lovely ball towards Storer, who's got a lot of space. On the left-hand side of Kettering's attack into Holman. Holman through to Kelly. Kelly is onside, 1-on-1. Keeper comes out, does really well. Holman header! Oh, off the line! Meikle shoots! Oh, long way over the bar. Chance for Kettering.
Yeah, a good bright opening. Dan Holman did really well with the initial run, and he put a lovely ball out to the side. And Marcus Kelly found himself in on goal, but the ball came back out, and it was Dan Holman with a looping header, and I think it was Goff who got scrambled back to head the ball off the line for Tamworth, and Meikle's follow-up shot was well over the bar, but a little bit better for Kettering.
Certainly trying to respond to conceding that goal. Goalkeeper slips and puts it straight out of play for a throw-in. Throw-in then. Storer to take it right in front of the away dugout here at Latimer Park. Goes long, flicked on by Cunnington, sorry. Storer puts it forward. Honus is going to try and keep it on. It's just too far for even him. And then it goes for a goal kick.
Well, if you do want to make a change later on, it's probably been affected by the illness to Aaron O'Connor. It's highly unlikely that we'd see Aaron on the pitch today, so instantly that takes the options down from 5 to 4. No sign at the moment of any Kettering changes, nobody warming up.
Well, not the best kick again. Cunnington flicks on. Kelly, good touch. He's marshalled out by 2 players though. Clearance gets to Storer, who misjudges the bounce. Does well to hook it over. Cunnington doesn't get there. Storer's causing some more issues there. And the 14 comes away and it's cleared then towards Greg Smith. Tackled by Kelly and Cunnington. It's a little bit of an argy-bargy between Cunnington and the number 9 there. Nothing of it. Ball goes down the line. Stanley heads away. No one there for Kettering. Richards gets something on it. Still with the number 10. Meikle's done really well with those quick feet, and away he comes into Cunnington. It's a yard further away from good header from Towers. There's a head injury. The referee should stop the game here. He's not going to. And Richards makes advantage of it, and he puts it through to Honus. Honus is through here. He's got 2 players with him. Will he lay it to Holman? He does lay it to Holman. Holman here. Keeper's on the floor. Oh, and he's blazed it over. It's gone for a throw-in eventually. Holman sat the goalkeeper down and then tried to loft it over him and played it straight at him. And then the rebound that came to him, he smashed it across goal. and it's gone out for a throw-in on this near side. Chance again though for Kettering. Will they rue these missed chances? Let's hope not, as Tamworth will try and attack on the left-hand side of their 11. Now into the centre. Back out wide left again on the edge of the box now. Onto the edge in the centre. There's a lot of space. It will be a shot. Oh, it's a really good effort. And I tell you what, that was a lot closer than I think anyone in this ground has given it credit for.
No, I think Paul White he looked very reassured there as he just nonchalantly watched the ball go wide. So I think he knew it was travelling about 3 or 4 yards wide of his far post. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting last quarter of this game, no doubt about that. Tamworth have certainly set the stall out much better this second half. They look a half a yard quicker to the ball than they did in the first half. And it's certainly even game.
Cunnington now on the right hand side, tries to play it through to Kelly Evans. He gets there eventually, and Kelly Evans manages to scramble a throw in off the Tamworth player. And suddenly Kettering from a goal kick are deep inside Tamworth territory with a throw in. Holman's lost his man and could put the ball over here. He's tried to flick it over the head and get back on the end of it. He doesn't, and away comes Tamworth. It's a battle between Towers and the number 10, whose name escapes me, Taylor. Now it's with Stanley. Stanley clears long, all Kettering players offside, so Tamworth have a free header forward. Storer wins that header back. That's a high ball into the air. Honus is not going to win the header, but he may challenge for the bounce. He does. He's done really well, Rhys Honus. Free header, and though Cunnington's going to put some pressure on again. It's scrappy at the moment, but Tamworth's trying to come away on this right-hand side. That's gone. Well, it hasn't, says the linesman. Cut out by Richins, so no danger there. It's a short pass by Richins, and Tamworth's come away with it. The number 8, Verma, now out into the left-hand side. Cutting in, right-footed. Good challenge by Kelly Evans, and Meikle brings the ball away, tries to set Holman away down the right-hand side. He's not going to get there, Holman, and he does manage to force the Tamworth player to put it out for a throw-in, though. Kelly Evans then throwing it on the far side. Meikle gets another throw-in for Kettering. So the game has fallen a little bit silent. Richins puts the ball forward. Cunnington, well, he got his head on it, but inadvertently, and it goes out for a Tamworth throw-in. Not too sure Cunnington knew a lot about that, to be honest.
No, I don't think he did. You say the atmosphere has got a bit of quiet. The Kettering fans behind the goal to our left are trying to raise their voices to encourage the team along, but the longer it sort of stays like this, the nerves will start creeping in, I think, a little bit. Kettering with a slender lead, and Tamworth pressing.
Just down the line, Stanley's in attendance, over by the corner. Still with Tamworth though, cross in, cleared away by Towers. Cunnington's going to try and get something on it, he can't. Offside shouts not given. Paul White comes out, collects the ball, and every Kettering player there turns to the linesman, arms raised, and said, wasn't he offside then, linesman? Linesman says no, much to the disgust of everyone in red and black. Long kick, and Honus can't quite get there. It's time for Storer, brings it down on his chest, then puts a low ball to Cunnington. Cunnington, he's just been marshalled off the ball there. Ball's gone high up into the air. Richins header, and goes nowhere but back up into the air. Then he gets that one. Cunnington again. They've got 2 players on Cunnington every time. He can't keep the ball at the moment. Richins has done really well. Goes all the way to Paul White, who is going to kick this first time. He does. Cunnington now goes over both him and the defender. Honus doesn't get there, and away it comes again from Tamworth. Brought down by Concannon. And yeah, Kelly's Felled him there. Just clipped him as he turned. The tactics board is out, I can see down there. Looking at certain changes we might see soon. A lot of players out warming up to our left for both teams. Cool. Free kick comes in, away by Richins. Honus just plays it through the centre. There's no one running for it. And it's very much attack versus defence at the moment, with Tamworth being the attacking team. Leon Kelly Evans heads it away. Cunnington completes it. Richins clears out. Kettering are batten down the hatches at the moment. They're being pinned back by Tamworth, who are coming forward again. Out onto the left-hand side. Storer gets in the way. Plays it to Meikle. Meikle, lovely bit of footwork from Lyndon Meikle. Storer. Oh, he's caught late there. He was caught very late, Gary Storer, by the number 4.
I think number 4 will be in the book for that one.
Moser.
Yep, I think he'll be in the book for that one.
Probably will do. Richins is not happy with the linesman. So, it's going to be a booking for Matt Moser.
Yeah, right decision.
And to be fair to Matt Moser, the first thing he did is get up and go and check to see whether the Storer was okay.
Yeah, he knew he caught him. And it was the correct decision from the referee today.
There's going to be a substitution for Kettering, and Cunnington's going to be coming off.
It's the Angel coming on.
The Angel coming on, but not just yet. I think Kettering are going to take the free kick first and use Cunnington's height at the moment.
Yes, it's going to be Craig Stanley to pump this one forward from the Kettering half. And
it's amazing, really, the heading ability that Craig Stanley possesses. He doesn't get forward for more set pieces. Down the line, Honus isn't going to get there. It'll be a goal kick.
If we were chasing the game, he certainly would be forward with Declan Towers from that position.
Towers obviously does go forward, but it's probably the experience and the positioning of Stanley which allows him to stay back and make sure he can snuff out anything without having to make a challenge.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed about the challenge he did make in the box, to be honest, because it was a penalty out of nothing really, and probably a challenge he didn't really need to make.
Storer who gave away the penalty. Is it Stanley?
Well, we thought it was Stanley.
I've gone all Chris Kamara. I've gone all Chris Kamara.
You're probably right. We'll have to watch it on the highlights later.
Yes, which you will be able to see shortly, sort of early next week, as Cunnington goes through, who gets the ball out on the byline now. Good work from him. Fires it into Meikle. Meikle goes past 2 players, goes past another one. No, he doesn't. Gets a foot in, and it's going to be a throw-in for Kettering. And we will do the substitution now. Cunnington is going to be the man coming off. So Cunnington comes off, exchanges a few glances with players.
Yeah, another decent shift by Adam. Kettering players getting on a few more of his flick-ons today, but I don't know, it's not quite working out probably as he expected, to be honest, since he joined the club. I bet he thought he would be a little bit more prominent.
Yeah, but he's only been, what, 4 games, is it?
Yeah, I suppose what I'm comparing is Dan Holman, who sort of came in and hit the ground running. And,
yeah, what I'll say in sort of on the other hand of that, if we were to have sort of a debate on it, Cunnington is coming into a team that haven't played the style of play that he's used for, whereas Holman came into a team that was playing the football, the passing game, whereas Cunnington's come into a team and maybe the team just haven't quite adapted to the tactical change of using the big man, because they've been so used to this season playing on the ground and playing that kind of game.
That's a fair debating point there, Red.
Just as a devil's advocate, I guess, to put another point across. Be nice to get his thoughts on the matter at some point. Storer does well, clips the ball, but it's a lot of space for the number 4, who has been booked. Ball goes forward, it's not a bad ball, and Kelly Evans heads away. It's going to be picked up by Meikle, who's got a man on his back now, clears long. Holman's going to put some pressure on, but it's headed away easily. and Kelly's cut out the pass, but it's a heavy touch from him, and away come Tamworth on the right hand side. It's Green. Green puts the ball long again, headed away by Towers. Meikle, good touch from him, looking for an option, tries to go through to Sulkin. Sulkin will still get there, still going Brett Sulkin, but can't quite find Honus, and the ball goes high up into the air. Stanley wins the header. Yeah, a bit of miscommunication, but Kelly spares their blushes and gets the ball to Meikle. Meikle tricking his way through again in his own half this time, done really well. Lyndon Meikle still got the ball. Lyndon needs an option, goes to Towers, who has to go first time. Holman holds the ball, back to Richins. Richins, oh, it's a speculative pass, but it was poor, and away come Tamworth again. Paul White is being beckoned by his defence to come and get the ball, and he's going to keep it in play to waste a few seconds. And he has a word with Greg Smith there as he tried to close the ball down.
Brett Sulkin slotted into the centre of midfield, so it's a 4-4-2 now for Kettering. Dan Holman and Rhys Hurnis staying up top for Kettering, just trying to close off some of the avenues that Tamworth have been finding in that midfield area the second half.
Oh, good work by Honus. Sulkin to Richins. Richins plays the ball through to Marcus Kelly. It's just held up for him. Turns back to Storer. Storer clips it forward to Honus. Can't beat the defender. Honus arms aloft saying, give me a chance. Cut out by Richins. Richins into Holman. Holman can't get there, but Sulkin gets the rebound to Storer now. He's got a bit of time and space. Goes wide. It's been shepherded by the number 2. Back to Marcus Kelly, who takes a touch. Now into the centre to Richins. Richins goes past the number 4. Back to Marcus Kelly again. Kelly tries to go down the line to Storer, and it's a Tamworth throw-in, which has been taken quickly. And away they come. Stanley, good positioning. He's going to have to go again, which he does. Verma heads it back, flicked on. Towers gets there. Cleared away. And Richard Lavery saying that there was no way there was a foul there, and Sulkin, well, puts his arms aloft. I thought it was going to come, actually. We said earlier, when defender is against attacker by your own corner flag, if the defender goes down, they get the free kick.
Brett was almost deliberately trying not to foul him there, though, and Verma just slipped and got the free kick. But you're right, your theory is holding true.
Verma is the man to take the free kick. He was the one felled halfway inside his own half. Hit long. Stanley wins the header really well, and Richards clears away, but there's no one there. It goes back up again. Stanley wins the header. Holman can't get there. Back up into the air. Stanley wins the header. Honus can't get there. Back up. Oh no, not back up into the air. I was just on autopilot then. And then put through. Honus won't get there, and the ball will be headed back to Luke Simpson, who's not really been that busy this second half.
No, he's been quiet, apart from really having to pick the ball out of the net and getting himself a yellow card for the penalty incident. But you're right, it's Paul White who's been far busier the second half of the 2 goalkeepers.
Good touch from Kelly, brings the ball down and gives the ball away though, and Tamworth have the ball on this right hand side again. Ball put in long. No foul, so Stanley gets the ball away, back to Verma. Verma step over again onto his left foot. So all the centre of the Kettering half at the moment. Cleared away. Richards puts long, and Honus is going to chase. There's a man covering. Honus gets there first. He's caught. And Richards is straight over asking the question.
Mr. Kettle's in trouble here.
Yeah, it's the captain.
Is it Kettle or is it number 6 Jemson? I can't quite see from here. One of the two
it's going to be the 6. It's Jemson. Kettle is moving away from the referee. He's not been called over. He'll come over because he's a captain, but
yeah, I think it's a yellow card. Kettle was in attendance, shall we say, as well. So
one of those again. Oh no, it's a red card.
It's a red.
Well, the referee obviously deems that Jemson made no attempt to play the ball, which you can understand really. He doesn't get anywhere near it. Takes out Rhys Honus. Yep. Last man. It's a red card. Even with the rule changes a couple of seasons ago. Tamworth are down to 10. They're 1 goal down, and Kettering have to avoid the odds being levelled this game like they did on Tuesday.
Yes, we've been here before, haven't we, about evening the teams up, but the only thing I thought in Tamworth's favour, the players' favour, was that Rhys Onius was quite a bit away from the centre of the penalty area. In fact, you can see where the free kick is going to be taken by Marcus Kelly. It's definitely nearer the edge of the penalty box, but the referee thinking it was a goal scoring opportunity.
Well, he was,
still.
because if he's gone past him, he's through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, isn't he? And it wasn't a genuine attempt to play the ball. The free kick comes in, Solken, it's taken off his head, it's at the far post. Oh, that's not a bad effort really by Honus at the back post. He tried a half volley, tried to get it sort of up and down again from the tight angle with some outside of the boot spin on it as well, but difficult trick.
Whatever he
Nearly came
tried,
off.
yeah, whatever. It was a difficult effort for Rhys, to be fair, and you know, centre halves must hate playing Rhys Honus with his pace there. You could just see it. He gets, you know, even if he's half a yard behind, he'll outrun most players, especially large centre halves. And yeah, they paid the price for bringing him down that time. And as you say, Tamworth down to 10.
Good ball from Richards, and it's over the number 9, and Honus is through here. Honus onto his right foot again. Is he going to shoot? He does! Oh, it's hit the post and comes out! Oh, what an effort. Honus beat the number 9 for pace, but then again, that's not the most difficult thing in the world to do. And had a shot, it bobbled its way past the glove, and for the second time this game, Kettering have hit the post.
Yeah. 2 posts hit, and that just dropped the other side, and you think that that'd be a game over, but still Kettering have got to work at it.
Honus back out to Kelly Evans, who was a throw-in taker. Back to Kelly Honus again. Now it's Meikle. Meikle lofts the ball towards Solken, headed away, and they should bring it away. No, Kelly's got there first. It's one of those where he's come steaming in, and he's got the ball away from the Tamworth man, but it's a throw in.
Let him out.
In rugby terms, this is perfect for a line out. All the possession. Good work by Solken. It's cleared up. Verma's very clever on the edge of his own area there, flicking it up over the head of the onrushing attacker, and he's played a good ball out left as well. And Meikle is going to have to do a lot of work to get back with him. He's done well to hold him up, but he's gone past him now, the Tamworth player on the left. Ball goes in, headed away by Towers. Meikle gets a foot on it. Has he given up possession? He hasn't. He's done really well, and he's right down by his own corner flag now, and Kelly Evans gets the ball away. Honus is coming back doing his defensive duties. Shrugged off the ball. Long ball goes again. Storer should win that. No call from Kelly, but they've got away with it as Holman picked up the ball right in front of us on the halfway line. Plays the ball, tries to go through to Honus, and Kettle swings a boot at it, gets it away, and Verma plays up into the air. Kelly Evans wins the header, can't get to Meikle. Towers brings it down on his chest, cuts in, and Richards gets the ball out wide right to Kelly Evans. He's got a bit of space to run into, which he's going to use. Will he go down the line to Holman? He may have tried to, but there was a good challenge by the backtracking Tamworth man to put the ball out of play for a throw-in. Can't have that much longer left of the game.
I reckon it's 3 minutes plus stoppage time, according to my watch, Ed.
Well, let's see whether you're right. Holman to Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans, yeah, it's a foul. $805 here.
Yep,
Nice to see. We were looking to try and retain 200 from the crowd that was here on Tuesday. I think we've done. Yeah, we've done that. 150, 200. Would have been nice to keep a few more.
Of course, it's always nice.
But just after Christmas, I guess.
Come down to Latimer Park. The next opportunity will be a midweek game against Biggleswade.
Ball, free kick short to Holman. Holman falls over but manages to keep the ball in play under pressure. Now it's Meikle. Meikle to Holman. Holman. He's got Meikle running through, although he's now marked. Tries to go to Meikle anyway, and the ball gets shoveled up into the air. Holman puts some pressure on, but Tamworth will come away. Holman tries to bring the player down. He doesn't manage to do so. There's still a counter-attack on the left-hand side for Tamworth. And it's a goal kick. Really good defensive work that from Kettering. Declan Towers, I think it was, the man who went all the way over to make sure that there was no attack.
Yeah, couldn't get through. He's looked quite dangerous the second half, Mr. Waite.
Oh, Dan Holman gets man of the match. Meikle might feel a little bit aggrieved.
I was going to say Meikle would be my man of the match today. That's not to say that Dan Holman's not had a bad game. Quite au contraire, he'd be certainly second on my list probably. But
that's a good ball towards that man though, Holman, who holds the ball up. Loses the ball there, and away come Tamworth. So Towers puts a boot in. No, it's a Kettering throw-in, because if it wasn't a Kettering throw-in, I think the Taylor for Tamworth might have been in a little bit of trouble for going into
robust
Towers.
challenge, I think.
Yeah, he's got to hope that Towers
a card coming out
got the ball. He's got to be booked here for something he said to the referee.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think that's karma, isn't it? If you don't get booked for the tackle, then open your mouth and you can get booked for dissent instead.
Yeah, I think that's what the referee will say to him as well. He goes, either I book you for the way you went into Towers, or I acknowledge that you got the ball and it's a Kettering throw-in.
Yeah, so don't argue.
Essentially, yes.
But he did. Fair play to him, though. He just gave Towers a tap of acknowledgement, so he probably did catch him. But Kettering with the throw.
Oh, they need to speak a little bit better there. Richards and Storer have got a little bit mixed up, and Tamworth come through. Stanley's got enough on the ball to cause some problems, and he's done really well with the pace as well, and he's found Kelly along the line as well. That's really good defending. Holman's lost the ball there under challenge of 3 players. Richards does well. Ball goes long. Stanley heads away. Holman's there, missed by both players. It's going to stay in, is it? It's gone out of play for a throw-in.
It's 3 minutes of stoppage time we have now entered. So 3 minutes for Kettering to hold out and to gain another 3 points at Fortress Latimer Park.
Ball goes long. Stanley backpedaling, headers away. Kelly was never going to win the header. Ball up into the air. Storer can't get there. Headed across. Brought down. And then it's away it goes. Towards the number 4. Richards gets a foot in. Richards gets a foot in. Still going, Richards. Still going. The number 4 unhappy. Didn't get a free kick for it. The ball forward from Richards is poor. Honus is lambasting him whilst putting some pressure on. All the ball down here now with the number 3 now, who hits long. Kelly Evans doesn't win the header, and there's a chance at the far post. The ball goes up high. Brought down, is it? No, and Storer needs to get something on this. Puts a left foot through it. Honus doesn't win the header, but it's not going to go to any Tamworth player. The 4 may get there, but he's going to be very wide. Kelly Evans sliding. It's caught him, it's a yellow card. Yeah, the number 4 put the ball over the top of Kelly Evans. Kelly Evans had already gone to ground to slide, and it's a yellow card.
Yeah, he didn't really need to make that challenge zone, but Moser was going nowhere. The ball was heading towards the tunnel area of the pitch, and he went to ground. He slid in. He caught the Tamworth player. It's a clear free kick. It's a clear yellow card that Kelly Evans is now receiving from the referee.
Yeah, this is a chance, and Tamworth have got some big players.
Yep, they're going to pump this one into the penalty box for sure. The players all lined up on the edge of the penalty box to receive this free kick.
I tell you what, in this level of football, is there any need for technical areas? Because Richard Lavery is nowhere near it. Ball goes in, headed away. Oh, there's a chance at the back post. Shot deflected away. And the spin is taken away from Meikle, who manages to put the ball away down the line. Honus isn't going to get there first. He's going to put some pressure on. Ball goes in long again. Paul White should have this one. Does, collects, and then falls to the ground as well. Gratefully clutching the ball to his chest.
Yep, he'll. That's it.
But that's it.
That's it.
Oh,
Kettering have won.
Yep, it's a win for Kettering, and the last time they had a big win, which was against Stourbridge, they hit a sticky patch. Kettering have managed to keep the momentum going here, and Kettering have managed to get the 3 points as well. There was not without its drama. Tamworth reduced to 10 men, but the damage was done when Kettering scored in the first half with Lyndon Meikle, and then Dan Holman's penalty in the second half put Kettering 2-1 up. Tamworth did get back with a penalty that was really, really well saved by Paul White, and then finished on the rebound. But apart from that, it's a solid routine win for Kettering, and we keep pace on Stourbridge, who I presume they were 2-0 up at one point, are probably going to have won their game. But Gary, sum that up for us.
I'd sum it up as a comfortable first half for Kettering, who are clearly the best team on the pitch. They created early chances and then went back to score a very good goal from Lyndon Meikle, adding to his tally. The second half, though, was a far closer affair. Tamworth looked half a yard quicker and they tested Kettering. We had a penalty apiece, a sending off, and Kettering have not necessarily held on, but they've battled on to get the win this afternoon. And the final score here at Latimer Park: Kettering Town, the Poppies 2, Tamworth 1.
Well, a hard-fought game here at Latimer Park. See the Poppies win 2-1, 2-0 ahead, and it looked quite comfortable. But then a penalty gave the Lambs some hope, but it came to Kettering Town 2, Tamworth 1. 805 here at Latimer Park. That's a very good attendance, and it's as you were at the top, as Bedworth could only lose 3-0 to Stourbridge. And all the other results we'll bring you as soon as we get them. Latest scores are Biggleswade 1, St Ives Town 0, Hitchin 3, Rushden and Diamonds 4. They were 3-2 down Diamonds. It was 3-all and then 4-3. That's not a full-time score yet. Kings Lynn Town 1, Leaston 1, and Stratford 0, Alvechurch 1. Latest scores at the moment. But the important one that mattered was Kettering Town 2. Tamworth 1 after that game against the Diamonds in midweek. We could have let things go down the pan a bit as we did against Stourbridge, but it was a difficult performance in the second half, Ed.
It certainly was, and
did I catch you there?
He did a little bit, yeah. Yeah, no, it was a difficult performance, and Kettering will be really pleased with how they dug in and held that. Silly penalty to give away. Really poor, actually, to do that. Paul White thought he'd kept it out, and then the rebound was tapped in fairly easily. But
great save from Paul White, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it's so good. It was a really good penalty save. He'll be upset with that because that would have kept his clean sheet in, and you know it was a really, really good save. But Kettering did enough eventually. I mean, Tamworth certainly tried in the second half. Never really troubled Kettering's goal, it has to be said.
And when that penalty went in for them, it really seemed them to be a bit of a fight for them. They thought we got a way back in here against the run of play to a certain extent. I mean, let's be honest, Kettering hit the post twice. They had 2 cleared off the line. They had a great save from Luke Simpson from a Richards shot. There was that one that dribbled across the line where Cunnington couldn't get onto it in the first half. Kettering certainly had the chances, didn't they? There were shots in the second half that just went by. So it was a good performance, but it made it to be a lot harder than it possibly should have been.
It looked a lot harder than it should have been. If you take those chances, it's probably 3 or 4, and it looks a lot easier. Performance-wise, you can't really complain. Kettering have outplayed Tamworth today, and like I say, apart from the penalty, I don't actually think. Paul White made a really good save actually at the beginning of the second half from that overhead kick from Taylor, was it? But apart from that, Paul White didn't actually do a lot of work today. When you look back at it, he didn't make that many saves.
No, the save he said for the overhead kick, and there was a scramble straight after that where he came to the fore again. But as you say, other than the penalty, he had nothing really to do other than deal with a few back passes and from corners and set pieces. But Kettering's goal difference, could have been improved slightly. But I'll take the 2-1 win. Yeah,
but we've got to remember, of course, Kettering were through on goal a couple of times and were brought down, and one resulting in a red card for the number 4. But no, sorry, it wasn't number 4, was it? It was number 6. Sorry, Jemson.
Jemson, yeah, that was a foul there, 1-on-1, wasn't it? And he went. I thought Fortune Maposa was very lucky not to join him on the red card syndrome.
First half, definitely, because he made those 2 challenges in the first half, which he got no booking for.
The
and
one
then he
on
made
Richards was terrible.
Yeah, and then he made one in the second half, which he did get booked for, which Richards was less than pleased about. But you know, I think the referee got the red card and the booking for the goalkeeper right. I've got to say. Maybe Jemson will feel a little bit hard done by with the red card, because he will argue there was a genuine attempt to play the ball and Mahoney's got there first. The problem is the ball's nowhere near him when he's made contact, and he's stepped across him as well. He's not clipped him, he's not put a foot in for the ball, he's just stepped across Honus. So I think that's probably correct. But, you know, Kettering have got through it with no bookings and another 3 points, and we're still 2 points behind Stourbridge with 3 games in hand. So
also, it was Kettering's second home win against Tamworth in 14 games. So that's another statistic slit, which is nice. We hope to get some managerial thoughts on the game, and one of the players from today in for a chat. We'll be bringing those a little later, hopefully. But it certainly looks like still a 2-horse race. They're on 56, Stourbridge, Kettering on 54. The next one is at 39, I think it is. So a fair way behind, aren't they, these other teams, and games are marching on. That's Kettering's 17th win. It's also their 17th, 18th penalty. I think I said that it was. I think I've got the statistics somewhere down here. Yes, 18th penalty, and 21 last season. There's a record, a club record, so we're online to beat that, do you think?
Oh yeah, we're just over halfway through the season, so if we've got 18 and 1/2, then 36 in total I think it's going to be.
Well, we'll take those if we can score. We've scored 15 of those 18 penalties, and to say Paul White will be very disappointed with the brilliant save that he made. It goes down as a save though from the penalty. The follow-up is a different thing completely. So Paul White has faced 7 penalties and saved 3 so far. It's a good ratio. He's got 1 more to equal Kevin Shoemake, who saved 4 in 1 season. So Paul White on course to match another Kettering Town great.
With the greatest of respect, I hope we don't give away any more penalties for the rest of the season.
But they seem to be becoming a little bit more frequent than they were at the beginning of the season. But on Tuesday night we travelled to Stratford Town, who I think lost 1-0 to Alfchurch. That's their first defeat in a while. That's in the City Security Services Challenge Cup 4th round. A week today we're at Colville. Ed and I have been to Colville for a pre-season friendly a season or so ago. And then on the Tuesday the 15th we've got Biggleswade Town here.
Is that one of our games in hand?
It is one of our games in hand, the Biggleswade game, yes. And the 19th Royston Saturday, and 22nd also is a game in hand against Colville. So those games in hand.
Come the 26th when we play Stourbridge, we'll actually be have a good idea of where we are and where we need to be and what we need to do for the rest of the season.
We will indeed. Well, we have the first guest, and it is a new boy. It is Craig Stanley, who's going to join us. Ed will depart us for a few moments.
Thank you.
Welcome, Craig,
nice
to Poppy's TV. Couldn't have come at a more interesting time. A game at Kings Lynn, 1,200, 2,100 on Tuesday, 800 today, 3 wins and a draw. Man of the match at Kings Lynn. Couldn't better.
No, it's been good. It's been good. Obviously, when I heard about the interest, obviously I know Lavs and Tom from previous played with Lavs years ago. So obviously I know
Lavs. Old,
no, yeah. So I played with Lavs quite a few years ago. Obviously Tom was at Barwell when I played at Barwell, and then obviously I went up north to play.
It's a fair way in Lancaster.
Yeah, it's a fair way. I lived up there years ago, and it was just an opportunity to be player coach, which obviously eventually I want to do. So it's a bit of a too good of opportunity to turn down. Things didn't materialise. The manager left. I was caretaker manager
6
for 3.
games, was it?
Yeah, 6 games. So that went well. Quite disappointed I didn't get the job, to be honest, but obviously it's worked out quite good. And then things was going well at Lancaster, and obviously I've heard of the interest here, and obviously.
You moved back to the area?
Yeah, I'm moving back to the area. Originally from Bedworth, so I'll be moving somewhere in and around there in the next few years.
Already played there, so you missed that one.
Yeah.
But,
so obviously my parents are there, so for the time being I'll stay there, and then obviously once we get all sorted, then I can obviously get sorted and then move to the area, because obviously it's a fair distance, but I can't obviously coming into a winning team. It's good and.
Well,
good
first
players.
game against Kings Lynn, I mean, man of the match in that game. It was a tough game. We had a tough game
I'm
there
not sure
last
about
year.
that, but yeah, I did okay. So, but it's just a matter of trying to win games, and hopefully we can keep clean sheets. Obviously disappointed with the way we conceded today, and obviously against Rushden, obviously stuff we can improve on.
How did you like that game? I thought it's one of it's our big derby game, you know, and it was quite an atmosphere, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Obviously played in front of big crowds before, but yeah, obviously in a tight little ground, big expectation. Obviously and the performance. I think the longer the game went on, the better we were, and I think it showed in the last 20 minutes, half an hour. If we can play with that intensity, not many teams will be able to handle us, especially with our attacking players.
Today, a different kind of game. It was a more physical game from Tamworth. A couple of bookings are sending off. They were a little bit more sort of nudging around, weren't they? They were snapping at you. It was a different kind of performance.
I think, especially in the first half, we had enough chances to probably win the game by half time. Second half, we scored 2-0, and then we conceded a sloppy penalty that. Little things we could have done better with, and obviously that gives them a bit of pressure. And Tamworth have got some good players, you know, so probably in a false position maybe, but at the end of the day it's 3 points, and we want to play well, but I think at this time of the season you just got to win games, and that's what we're doing at the minute.
Well, we matched Stourbridge. They won 3-0 away from home, so we're still in second place with 3 games in hand. It has gone our way again, but we hit the post twice. We had 2 cleared up a line. We had a couple of one-on-ones. One was a sending off to Jemson, which could have settled things. It was a tough old game, tough old surface out there. It must be a difficult surface for you.
Yeah, it's just I ain't the youngest now, do you know what I mean? But obviously I enjoy playing back there. I've only been playing there for a couple of years, so obviously played in midfield for the majority of my career, so I just went back there. Hopefully I can get a few more years by playing back there, and the main thing is obviously trying to be successful, and that's the reason why I come. Could have easily just stayed at Lancaster and just played and just maybe gone through the motions, but I wanted to try and finish my career however long I've got left, to try and finish on a high, and that's the aim what I'm trying to do here.
Certainly slotted in well with Declan Towers at the back there. It's encouraging. You seem quite steady out there.
Yeah.
Knowledge of the game obviously rubs off on the others.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes I try and read the game quite well. Obviously playing in midfield, sort of try and read where the ball's going to be by obviously looking at the player's body shape and where it's going to go. So that's I'm not the fastest, but I think I can read the game quite well. And playing with Dec's a very good player. I think.
Great game today,
I think another good game. So we're playing well at the minute. We've got experience from playing at Barwell, but at Barwell sometimes he was a bit of a hothead. He got sent off a few times and he had a few injuries. So we didn't probably play as regular at Barwell as we should have, or maybe we could have. But then he was playing in midfield as well. So, but I think Dec's a quality player.
Were you at Barwell then when Liam McDonald was there? And
no, just obviously I was only there for like about 18 months. It was
right.
so, and then. But I think Dec can play higher. I think if he gets his mind on the job and plays well, he's showing now he needed to come to a team that are going to do things properly, and then he's showing his performances now that for me he can play. He can play.
He's got a goal for us as well, which is it's been useful.
Yeah.
Got a he's good at Alf Church. And
he's good at attacking. He's good on set plays, and he's good to play with, because sometimes if I'm not in the greatest of positions, he can help me out, and vice versa. You know, so we have a good relationship. We speak off the pitch as well. Not all the time, but we speak and obviously see how each other is, and we just play, and it's quite easy to play with. You know, he knows how I play and I know how he plays, and that's as simple as it is. And when you come into a new team, it's always tough because I don't know the players. Obviously, I know the players like Aaron O'Connor, Dan Ullman, playing against them and stuff like that. But obviously today,
how have you found it then, sort of coming into the team? I mean, you say it's new for you, you've got
it's
new
quite
players around.
football.
How they accepted you?
I think all right. You'll have to ask them that question. Do you know what I mean? They might like me, they might not. It's, for me, I come here to play football, to win games, and that's what I've tried to do all my career. Really, is try and be as successful as I can. I've done okay, and obviously just coming in, knowing players helps, and football's quite a simple game, really, you know. But yeah, you do have to learn people's strengths, where they like the ball, where they don't like the ball, etc., etc. But it comes quite quickly, you know. So I think I've learned where I need to pass the ball and what I need to do, and the main thing is that we win games, and that's what's happening at the minute.
Okay, Craig, thank you very much. Thank you for your frankness there on that. Let's hope this winning streak continues. Let's hope that you continue playing the way you are. You've certainly been a revelation since you've been here. Thanks for coming over. Go back and have a nice shower, and we'll see you a bit later on.
Okay.
That is our... we're going to get some managerial... see, that's Tom. Wow. And No, I don't believe it.
Oh, no. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Cheers, thank you.
Here's the return team here.
to send me that so I can fall asleep.
Snoring out.
We've got Tom and James in here. Well, let's hear it from a managerial point of view then. It was a tough 2-1 win coming on the back of that fantastic result on Tuesday night. We were all animated in that game. Not so animated today, but a great result when things could have gone probably the wrong way for us.
It was a good result, and I think it was important that we had to back that result up from New Year's Day with a win. Anything less we would have been hugely disappointed considering how well we did New Year's Day against Rushden. So look, we knew that it was going to be a challenge, and Marcus mentioned before the game that look, we've got to back these big wings up, beating the teams in and around us. Followed up with a sort of a cracking result really against an okay-ish Tamworth side.
Very physical, weren't
they? Yeah, they were, but I thought we coped with it really well. And we took our goals well today.
Yeah, you look at chances as well. We've had 2 come off the post. Rico's had 1 tipped over the bar.
Great save,
it was great. Yeah, it was a great shot from him. You know, we know he's got that in the locker. So on chances really.
Had 2 off the line as well.
I think it's sort of panic stations, wasn't it? Really, give a penalty away. I think it was Gaz. He's not really going anywhere. It's a bit cheap that. Whitey saved the penalty. We don't follow it in and concede.
Frustrating for Whitey because it's a great save.
Yeah, he's dug us out there, and you know you've got to back him up with that. He's made a cracking save, and we expect people to follow him in there. But and then all of a sudden we're not clearing our lines. We're not doing what the good things that we did for the first half and the first probably 15 minutes of the second half. We stopped turning them. We stopped getting in behind them. But that happens. Then it will settle down, and we, you know.
Almost
seen it out towards the end.
One, didn't he? Until he's brought down by.
Like I say, we've had good chances. 2 off the post as well. Can we follow them in and get closer to them? I don't know. It's probably a bit difficult, but could have been a couple more really on another day.
As you say, it was good to follow that up with a win against Rushden when we played Stourbridge. Our form dropped a bit, didn't it? Do you think complacency stepped in there a little bit? That we've done everything?
Possibly. I don't think things weren't quite going our way as well. We've made a couple of changes, bringing lads in. You know, sometimes that takes few games to
just have Craig in, and he's gelled in really well, hasn't he?
Yeah, sometimes that happens, you know. Sometimes people do just slot in, but you know, brought Adam in. Obviously, Dan Holman would come in on the back of that as well. So sometimes it takes a couple of games to get it working. We've tried a few different shapes or what have you, and now it's kicking on and coming back together again. So
teams are always going to have a spell as well. So it's important that we kind of absorb that, and it was important that we kind of dealt with their pressure today, because they're always going to have a sort of 10-15 minute spell like all teams will when they play against us, but I thought we were quite resolute, defended quite well. We could have cleared our lines a little bit better, but when we did, we always knew that we had sort of Reece up top to kind of play on shoulders and cause them problems, and he did today again. So
different team selection. We had the original team that Aaron was in the side, then we got the news that he's ill and was on the bench, and then obviously Rico is going to be missing now for 3 games with suspension. And maybe Roe Turner might be coming back into the side at some point, so there's going to be a rejig around a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron pulled up in the warm-up today. He's been struggling with a bit of a sort of chesty cough, so he was honest. He said, "Look, you're probably not going to get the best from me today." And I think obviously we've got a ready-made replacement in Cunners who came on. And I thought he did really well today, actually.
He battles well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
People don't appreciate probably how much he gets buffeted off the ball, and the pressure takes off the other forwards.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem you've got when you get a big man, it's everyone else, it's easy for us to play that ball into him, but I thought today, you know, the percentages, he was winning more than he was losing. He was holding it up, he's rolled a few and played little ones around the corners. That's what he can give us, you know. That's why we've bought him here, to have that presence up front. But you mentioned people like Rico's going to miss 3, as is struggling. I don't think that would take him much to recover from that. He'll probably be okay for next week, but it gives other people opportunities. You know, people, rightly so, not happy being out of the team, but you know, the gaffer picks players for a reason, and it's going well at the moment. So, but other people that can come in, they've got an opportunity. They either take it or they don't, and that's
Tuesday
where it goes.
We have Stratford in the cup game. That will give a chance.
Exactly.
A few more.
That's a perfect game for people to get minutes in, show the gaffer why they think they should be in the team, and give him a headache if anything. You know, give him things to think about. And like I say, Stratford's a perfect opportunity for that.
And we're back in your neck of the woods of Colville. We got Colville twice, Biggleswade, Royston, and the big one against Stourbridge. Difficult month for the Poppies, really.
Colville, I know quite a bit about them. I've watched them 3 times this year. A few of their players I had
They
Carl
won today,
Perry
didn't they?
had a
Big House
goal.
Owen,
They were 3-0 up last night. I've not had a chance to check. They were 3-0 up at House Owen. So that's a good result for them. But like I say, we know about them. We'll have a plan to go and combat that, and ultimately it's delivering that plan at the end of the day. You know, can we do what we set out to do? If we do that, we'll be okay.
Okay, well that's good to hear, and a good win this afternoon. I'm sure you're delighted like we are. Coming also after that game on Tuesday. It's been a bit animated on the night, if I remember correctly. We won't rub it in too much. Did we win that game 2-1? I think we did.
Hey, you take the good times while they're there. That's what football's all about.
It is, isn't it? And,
it's about the rubbing in. They'd be doing the same.
I'm sure they would when they score a goal in the 93rd, 94th minute. But great to have you here.
Yeah,
great to have you back, and great to meet you, Tom. Once again, we will see you. That is our managerial report on today's game against Tamworth. Colville next week, and a little bit of chat there of our friends down the road. We'll just finish off with Ed Palmer. What was that? 2-1 was that?
It was 2-1 today, and it was also 2-1 on Tuesday. I don't know whether you've seen the goal on Tuesday. We might be able to show it again, actually.
Yeah, we can. If you've not seen
this was Tuesday though. This
Tuesday's goal
when we won 2-1 against one down the road.
Oh yes. Oh, marvellous. I mean,
worth having a look again, isn't it?
No,
I've not seen it since Tuesday. This is the first time seeing it.
Yeah,
so
it's still there, isn't it? It's still as good, and let's hope that we can. Oh
yeah, why not? Let's slow motion.
Oh, there's not.
Let's have a bit in slow motion, because I don't think that full speed does it justice. It just falls, and he's even closed his eyes as well.
He was not offside.
Well, no, he wasn't. But imagine scoring the winner in the last second with your eyes closed. That's how good Rhys Honus is.
It's a bit of a Mickey take, really, wasn't it? But there we are. Let's hope that we can continue next Saturday. As I said, we are playing Stratford on Tuesday. It'll be, I would think, a completely changed team, as Tom and James said there, that they will give a few that haven't had a few minutes, some minutes on Tuesday. We should be there to cover that. The big one next for Kettering, though, is Colville away. We've been before. We know what to expect press-wise there at Colville. Small ground, but quite, if I remember right, quite a picturesque one, if I remember right.
Yeah, it could be a nice day out.
It'll be a nice day, especially if we win. So there we go. Well then, from me and Ed, Ed looks rather cool out there. We're going to say good night. Another win for Kettering that keeps us chasing at Stourbridge. We have games in hand. We're marching towards that title. Keep on following us either on Poppies TV, Twitter, Facebook. Come to the games, whatever you do. Keep the poppies flying. We're going to do it.
Bye bye.